to the beach with bleach. That's a combo of the song Being Ice Cream and the Drake Bell song where he's like dancing in the beach. It's a remix, some may call. It's a mashup, others may call. It's like I'm on Glee, right? It's like I'm on Glee. I might not be on Glee, but I am full of Glee for today's episode called Catherine. I don't even know how to pronounce her last name. Catherine Paiz. Catherine Paiz. I only know her as the Ace family lady, the mommy of the Ace family. And apparently the Ace family is not a good family. I know, right? Who would have thunk? Who would have thought? Not I. No, I would have. And I did think it for a long time. The last time I checked in with the Ace family, I don't think I've ever talked about them on the channel, but I personally kept up with their drama, was two things. They started some sort of, online scheme course at one point where it was like, I'll teach you to make $1 million. Well, the guy, Austin McBroom, who is who we're going to be speaking about today on the channel in this podcast. He's not in it, but we're going to be hearing a lot about him and his ways. But he was teaching a course, walking around his mansion like, you guys, and it's like a kid audience, which is crazy. Hey kids, this is how you make content. All you gotta do is go to your mansion and then record like a house tour. And then you gotta take your I know you're a child also already, but have children and then have them in the background because the younger the better. And that's what the audiences want. And that was a couple years ago. So that was one time I caught up with them and was gonna do something and I didn't end up doing it. And the second time they had like an amusement park or some sort of fair carnival that was sort of scam-esque at one point, and I was following other people's coverage of it. It was in Los Angeles or near, that area a couple years ago. But since then, I've been in the dark. I was in the dark for quite a while, but they got divorced. At some point, Austin McBroom was sleeping in an RV in the yard of their house, which is like a $10 million mansion, $20 million mansion, something like that. And also their house got foreclosed. So those are the only things that you need to know because that's all I know. And we can't know differently from each other. And also, let me just show you some pictures. I'm not going to show you pictures of the kids because they've been exploited enough. So let's just look at mommy and dad. Okay, how about that? So we got Catherine and Austin. Hot. And I match. Oh my God. Am I Austin McBroom too? So that we're going to hear from her today. She's on the Call Her Daddy podcast. I have conflicting feelings about the Call Her Daddy podcast. I have a friend who loves it and I listened to it. And actually I had two people who suggested I should listen to it. And both times I gave it a chance, I was horrified. But that was also when it was like the two girls before women. It was Alex, what's her name, Cooper, and then someone else, her friend. They had a big feud and now it's only one person, but it was like very raunchy, which trust me, I love a little raunch, but it was too raunchy for moi, which is saying a lot. I just felt like what they were describing as a woman's experience was just not my experience, to say the least. So anyways, that's who we're going to be watching today. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining. And I hope you enjoy this amazing tea-inducing podcast episode. And I think we're going to like it. And we're going to learn about the Ace family. Okay, so all I need to know is they're divorced. But why? But what happened? Let's find out.
Place in my life. And I'm just so excited.
What are you doing? Which we're going.
Let's go back. Sorry.
Paiz. Well.
What is up, Daddy Gang? It is your founding father, Alex Cooper, with Call Her Daddy.
Call Her Daddy.
Catherine Paiz, welcome to Call Her Daddy.
Thank you.
Okay, we've got a lot to talk about, obviously. You and your ex-husband, Austin McBroom, started the Ace family, which quickly became quite literally the biggest family YouTube channel ever to exist. And then suddenly you guys went dark. And I think everyone has a lot of questions, which...
Oh, they went dark before they went dark, if you know what I mean. And before we get too deep into this, thank you, some guy 000001. Thank you so much. Some guys, one binary code. One of the fascinating things about Catherine McBroom is she's from Canada. Oh, no way.
One of the things that fascinates me about you is that you're from Canada.
I feel like I'm on the show. Wow, that's exciting. Is that exciting, everybody?
Yeah. Thank you.
Is it not exciting to be Canadian?
No.
Well, there you go. The tribe has spoken. And also, I got new sound bites. You didn't know. If you couldn't tell, this is from the last stream. Very great stream. Loved it so much.
Potential just means you're not worth shit now.
That was from 2 streams ago.
As the Bible says, fuck that.
That's a new one. Thank you, some guy. Okay, back to it.
Which we're going to get into. But first, I just want to know, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I feel like
Her hair's doing great. That's how long I want my hair to be. It's getting there. It's just not as thick. But she might have extensions, so I can't compare. Ladies, daddies, don't compare your hair. You don't know what's under there. Trademark. Okay, sorry.
I'm in a new place in my life, and I'm just so excited just to like be free with myself and just be authentic. Not that I wasn't authentic before. I just feel like I'm at just a new stage in my life. Yeah.
Self-own. I want to go back to this for a second. I don't think she's gonna, I don't know, I haven't watched this yet, but I don't think she's got anything really to own up to, but she is in the YouTuber apology fit right now. The full white, she should go in front of her, on the floor of her white bedroom and cry into the camera and ask for forgiveness. She has the outfit perfectly. She's giving holy.
I wasn't authentic before. I just feel like I'm at just a new stage in my life. Yeah.
You and Austin's last video together was almost 2 years ago. I know.
I didn't even know that.
Almost 2 years ago.
Okay, that's crazy.
Which is crazy because I feel like for so long people watched you every single day. Like you were on our screens for so long. So to go for 2 years, it's been a long time. Why are you ready to talk about all of this now?
I think for me, it's like I felt silenced for so long, and it wasn't like someone was silencing me. I was silencing myself. And I think that for all those years of just not being able to just speak freely and just like really sit with myself, it was really hard, Alex. It was really hard. And I think that now I'm just...
Okay, this is a pet peeve of mine. I really hate when people use someone's name like that. When someone does it to me, or when someone does it to someone else, like in conversation, it feels so inauthentic to me. I don't know why. It might not be. It triggers me when someone, Alex, or do you ever see that when someone, or hear that when someone's telling a story about themselves? It's usually like celebrity stories, and they'll say, yeah, so I was talking to this guy and he said, Johnny, you are the best. It's like, he didn't say that. The person on the street didn't say, Johnny, you're great. He probably said, oh, you're great. But they add in the name to make it more personal or to make it seem like more people know them personally. I don't know. Okay, I'm going on a rant that's not necessary or interesting, but just thought you should hear that.
So healed from all of my experiences, not just my relationship, all of the traumas and all the experiences that I faced early on in my life. I've just healed so much through all of them. Truly, like actually truly. And
doubtful.
I just feel so...
if anyone is convincing you they're healed, they're not healed. And I don't know if true healing exists. Okay, I'll shut up.
Alive. I feel like I can really just be myself, and it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay to be me and sit with myself. And I wrote a book.
Yes, you did.
I wrote a book about, some of the experiences that I had early in my life.
So that's why she's talking now. Okay, makes sense. PR.
Life, into my adulthood. Mm-hmm. And I think through my healing and through writing of this book, I really just like came back to myself.
That's really beautiful because I think so many people always say like, why now to people? And I actually was interested to know like, why now? And I can feel your energy. And like, I think a lot of people who have been your fan for so long have wanted you to.
Children, you mean?
To get to this point in your life. But I do know a lot of it is a little messy because obviously saw some chapters got released of your memoir, and then you have your ex-husband, Austin, coming forward, and he's already commentating on this is a lie, this isn't truthful, this is exaggerated. How did you feel?
Maybe we can watch some of those if I can find them.
When you saw him kind of publicly coming out and trying to put down essentially this book?
Yeah, I feel like that's already an indicator of why I never expressed myself, you know, through all those allegations of cheating and infidelity and all those things. It's like, I was so afraid to speak up. I was so afraid to say, I'm an idiot. Like, I just didn't see it, you know, or I was so afraid to say, you know, I'm trying to hold the very little piece that we have in our family. I'm trying to keep that together. I'm trying to shelter the very little piece that we have, you know? And
I wish, and maybe she will say this, but I wish people would be more honest across the board. But I wish people would just say, we were making a shit ton of money and I did not want to give that up when things were rolling in. Like, it was very nice to have that much money. And, you know, I kind of suspected a few things here and there, but like, I was willing to ignore it because things were really going well. And I figured, hey, this could end at any time. Let's ride this train regardless of what my idiot husband's doing. I mean, that might not be the truth, but it probably could be the truth.
For me, it was like, you know, I'm embarrassed. I don't know what's true or not. There's so many things that aren't true. It's really hard to like differentiate what is true, what isn't, until I really found out.
Okay. We're going to go all the way back because I feel like we know you as the Ace family. We know you as Catherine, a part of the Ace family. But I think it's important, and you talk about this in your book, I want to just lightly talk about your life before all of this. Describe, like, what was your experience growing up in your family dynamic?
Yeah.
I don't know if I care about that, but okay, go on.
Yes.
Tell me about the cheating. That's what I want to know about. Tell me about the vlogging and the trauma your kids have gone through. But okay, let me hear about your elementary school.
So my mom was born in Nicaragua. My dad is Panamanian. They met in Panama. They were teenagers when they met. And, you know, they had a lot of hardship. They had a very toxic relationship, just like any young couple that is new to a country, new language, new everything. They didn't have family, they didn't have friends. And so the first half of my childhood, my dad was a single dad. My mom
That's interesting. Single dad.
took herself out of that toxic relationship and moved to Florida. And so, you know, I knew she did that for the best of the family. And it's interesting because I'm like, I had such an awareness even as a child that I like knew like she's doing the right thing. You know what I mean? Like I knew that as a child, and I'm like, I know my mom is doing this for us, you know, for the bigger picture. My parents didn't have much money, you know.
She talks like a vlogger. Even in this interview, it's like very like, what's up, guys? My mom left an abusive relationship. We're going to document it. Let's go. Like the cadence is very odd for the kind of story she's telling. I feel like she needs to take it down a notch a little bit. Just like, be a normal person. I interviewed, because there's some people in locally that do YouTube and they're bigger, you know, way bigger than me. Who could be bigger than me, but you know, it does exist. Anyways, but this is before I was even on YouTube, but I did an interview with these YouTubers, and doing their interview, I was like shocked by how trained they were in their own mindset of like, I would ask them a question like, so how is it being a full-time content creator? And they would say, yeah, it's really, sorry, 1, 2, 3. It's an amazing experience. And they would just like self-correct, even when we were sort of talking just off camera or like pre-interview. And I thought it was very odd, but it was helpful to me as an editor. I was like, oh, that was great. I don't have to like ask, you know, can you say this part again or whatever. They just did it themselves. But I think it does impede your brain where you can't speak normally if you're used to making content about your life. I think you're able to do it if you're doing like what I'm doing, being perfect, like commentary, because I know when the camera's off, okay, that's it. I'm no longer at my desk. I'm no longer giving like a monologue. But these people who follow themselves around all day, I think their brains start to like, it's all content and it's all for the audience. And you lose your voice almost in that, it seems.
Really nothing. Yeah. And I had this really weird relationship with money. Like, I remember thinking like, you know, my mom would say things like, we don't have the money for that, or we can't do that, or, you know. And I remember looking at her and thinking, I'm going to make a lot of money one day so that I can do all the things that I want to do, and I can support you, and I can support my family. And it was like this drive that I had inside.
I think, honestly, I used to think that this was unique to me as well. I think every kid that grows up poor probably thinks this way. And the only times you hear stories about it is when people make it. But every kid has this, I think. That's my hypothesis. Let me know if you had this thought when you were a child, if you were poor.
Of me.
So many adults, you get to that place where you're like, what was lacking in your childhood that then you were craving? Because whether you had friends that had it or you were told you couldn't have it, then it's almost like that goal in your head, which then we'll get to because then you eventually got all of that. And sometimes it doesn't mean that that is the thing that brings you happiness. But when you're young and you have this vision,
totally,
it's like you're going to go for it no matter what.
Yeah.
I'm interested, though, hearing you talk about your parents having a toxic relationship. Like, how did their marriage impact you at a young age of like how you viewed love?
Yeah, hugely. Oh my God, that's such a good question. You're so good at this.
Thank you. Stop.
Okay, so I feel like when my marriage was going downhill,
amazing.
We didn't have good communication. That's one thing I take full accountability is I had the worst communication. And I'm still working on it today. I think I've gotten a lot better. But when I look at my parents, I thought, I don't want to be another couple that doesn't make it. You know, I want to have that traditional love. You say your I do's and you're in there for, you know, till death do us part. That was like kind of the way that I saw it, you know?
Again, I think everybody, for the most part, minus insane people and like really hurtful people, I think most people also have this thought, like, well, if I get married, I want it to last. But okay. She's saying it as if she's the first one to think of it, but I'll give her the benefit of the doubt.
Also having children, you know, you want your children to grow up with both their parents. And that was my dream. It's like, I want to be able to have that family. And when we had it, you know what I mean? And I thought, oh my gosh. Like, I remember one morning, I remember thinking like, did I make it? Like looking around, I remember, did I make it? And I was like, well, why do I feel so empty?
Call Her Daddy is brought to you by...
No, we're skipping the Tinder ad.
Or all of the possibilities for yourself.
Okay, again, back in the day when I listened to this podcast, Call Her Daddy, it would be like, this podcast is sponsored by Tinder, where all the girls are getting it up the butt every single day, and they are just squealing and loving it. Isn't that right? Yeah. Last night, I was getting it up the butt. It's like, oh my God. Like, it was like, I can't. It's too much. It's too much.
Tinder, it starts with a swipe. Download Tinder today.
Thank you. I will.
Let's talk about Austin.
Yes, finally.
Can you tell me how you guys met? Like, how did that all go down?
Yeah. I moved to Los Angeles. I had this fuel to move to Los Angeles. I was super excited, and I bought a one-way.
No one ever moves to Los Angeles. It's interesting, her excitement to talk about her ex-husband who cheated on her 20 times, according to the thumbnail of this podcast. Tell me about Austin. Oh my God, let me tell you everything. It's like, oh, interesting energy.
Ticket. My friend invited me to an all-white attire party. And I walked.
Uh-oh. Is this a Diddy story? An all-white attire party. You mean a white party? The freak off? Uh-oh. What story is coming?
And I saw Austin from across the room. Austin McBroom from across the room. And I looked at him and I thought, I don't know why, but I feel like I know him. So interesting. And she introduced us and we shook hands and that was it. And then I took an Uber home and I didn't talk to him. So about a month later, he had messaged me on, I think like Twitter or something. He was like, hey, I'd like to send you something. And I didn't respond. So a month went by. And then he messaged me again and he was like, hey, I'd like to take you to dinner. And I almost didn't go. I was like, I don't know why, but something's telling me to go. But I'm just like, I don't know. And so I'll never forget that morning. He was like, he goes, do you like sushi? And I said, no. He's like, okay, well, me neither, but I got us a reservation at Nobu Malibu. And I said, okay, that's nice. Like in my head, I'd never been there before, so I'll go. So we go, and we're sitting across from each other. You know, we're by the ocean, and we're talking. He was asking me a lot of questions about me. I thought that was really nice. You know, and he's a young college student. It was like he was going into his senior year of college, playing D1 basketball. And he's talking, and all of a sudden, like, I just don't hear anything. And I'm like, oh my gosh. That is a person that I'm going to have children with, and that is a person that I'm going to marry. And I knew.
Oh my God, she's like Aubrey Marcus? Yeah, Aubrey Marcus. She got a download from Source that told her she needs to be impregnated by Austin McBroom. Whoa. Worlds collide.
It in that moment. Like, nothing could tell me otherwise.
What was it about him?
It was just a feeling. It was just this feeling. It's like this inner knowing. And I thought, I just know it's him.
Okay. You write about in the book that the first time you have your first kiss is the same day that you both also say, I love you. Mm-hmm. Were you nervous at how fast it was moving?
No.
Why?
Because it was just meant to be. I saw this thing recently. I don't know who said this. I'll find out and let.
Sounds like she wants to get back with this guy thus far. I'm feeling the energy of she wants to give it another go, which again, based on the podcast or the thumbnail, 20 girls he cheated on her with. Based on what I've heard so far, it sounds to me like she would be down to go for it again. Just, let's get back together.
Everyone know. But she said, when you meet the one or when you meet someone that you're meant to be with, you skip the dating phase. So it's like we just went from like meeting each other to being like we're married kind of.
This situation is a red flag.
I don't love that. When you love someone, you don't actually have to get to know them.
There's nothing more whole than a broken heart. Holy and broken hallelujahs.
I feel more at home in suffering and pain.
That's Catherine. I think that's the vibe I'm getting. Because look at her. She's giddy with excitement talking about meeting this guy who ruined her life, according to the thumbnail. Okay.
A thing. You know what I mean?
Who said I love you first?
He said it first.
Did you say it back immediately?
Immediately.
And so it didn't freak you out at all?
Is this all a scheme? Are we being punked? Is this some sort of like PR stunt even further? Like they were in debt, so they had to fake break up, and now they're going to get back together and there's going to be a vlog about it. I'm not buying it so far.
Didn't feel like it was like love bomby at all. You were just like, this is it.
This is it.
If you had to pinpoint it back then, what do you think was different about Austin compared to all the other guys that you had dated?
Well, one, he doesn't care what anybody thinks. And I find that so attractive. And I feel like that's like my inner self is like, I don't give a shit what anyone thinks. But he was like that person for us in our dynamic, you know, taught me a lot. I also think, you know, he's very
shocked by this vibe, to be honest. I thought this was going to go totally different. She was going to spill the tea. Again, he taught me a lot about blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, are you over this yet? She said, I healed for real. I healed. It does not sound like it thus far.
He's just very motivated. He's a very motivated person. And I was just so attracted to the fact that he was so free with himself. And I never met anyone like that. Actually, the only person that I know close to him is my brother. And I always said, oh my God, you and my brother need to meet because you guys are so much alike.
How soon into your relationship did you get pregnant?
Freudian. Okay.
Like 2 months.
2
It was
months?
so quick.
That's me, everybody. I'm her. 2 months after meeting or dating, they skip dating right to pregnancy. That's crazy.
Is my brother. And I always said, oh my God, you and my brother need to meet because you guys are so much alike.
How soon into your relationship did you get pregnant?
like 2 months. It was so quick. Oh, wow. It was so quick.
What was your reaction? What was Austin's reaction?
I was so happy and we just loved it. It was the best thing ever. I predict she's going to say.
So it's interesting because the day before we found out, we were at a restaurant and his friend just had a baby. So he showed me the newborn photos and I was looking down and I was like, oh my gosh, like, would you want to start a family one day? He's like, yeah, I would love to have kids one day. He's like, you know, maybe in the future, you know, and he goes like, we'll start a family one day. And I was like, I know, like, I feel it, you know, I feel a family for us. I just knew it. But I didn't know I was pregnant already.
How did you tell him?
He was right there in the room. He was in the room. He was sitting on his belly, you know, scrolling on his phone. And I thought, you know, I feel nauseous. You know, I feel kind of sick. And he thought, oh, maybe we should take a pregnancy test. And I'm thinking like, nothing's going to happen. And I took the test and immediately I stood up. I didn't even think about it. I just stood up. Hey, and I threw the stick at him by like close to him on the bed. And he's looking at it. He's like, I'm like, yeah, I think we're pregnant. And it was, the lines were very faint, so we couldn't tell for sure. But just his reaction.
He was in college. That's kind of crazy also. She's telling it as if not a big deal. No big deal at all. It's like, this is a life-altering thing with a guy you don't know who's in college. And I don't know what she's doing at this time, but it's missing something in this story. Missing the intrigue and the reality. Maybe she's in a la-la land in the past and never reflected upon it, like actually the seriousness of what was going on, but okay.
Yeah.
And just the way I slept so good that night. I didn't even think about it. I'm thinking we're good no matter what.
What?
You started.
This is bizarre, right? This is bizarre. I mean, it's not crazy like, oh my God, they're out of their mind, but I'm surprised by this once again.
This YouTube channel, obviously, shortly after that she was born. How did you guys decide to do this?
So when he was in college for that last year, I decided to move in with him. I was pregnant for that whole year. And he had a roommate, like someone that was kind of there just to help with that last year of college because he was playing, you know, D1 basketball and he was still going.
Girl, we heard he's D1. You don't need to say it again. We don't need to fluff this guy's ego any further. What the hell is this?
To school, and then, you know, I was pregnant. And so he was kind of just there to like keep tabs and make sure that everything was good. And
he had a roommate that was there to keep tabs on Austin. What?
And he was the one that said, hey guys, like, you guys should really start a YouTube channel. And he's like, you know, your videos are going viral on Facebook and people are making money off of them. And I'm thinking like, what? Because we would make like cute little homemade videos, you know, of him talking to my belly or just us being funny and goofy or whatever.
I have a prediction. I think they met each other. He said, I want to be rich. And she said, I want to be rich. And he said, I have the best way. We're a hot, I'm not personally attracted to him, but whatever. She's gorgeous, in my opinion. We should make money. Do you like me enough? Yeah, sure. The best way, I learned it on youtubeacademy.com vlog, you know, school, that if you have kids and you put them on camera, that's how you make money. She's like, for real? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, you want to go to Nobu more? She's like, yeah. He's like, okay, well, we need to pop some kids out and get them on camera. She's like, let's do it. And they found love. And she's like, you know, this is a business scenario. I'm down for it. And you know what? I respect it. I don't respect it. I actually don't respect it. I take it back. I respect the hustle if you're both in it together. But I wish people would be more honest, because this story does not, to me, sound real. Does not ring true to me, the way she's telling it.
And he's like, people are taking your videos and monetizing your videos. Why don't you guys make your own videos? And I thought, can we do that? You can make money off your videos? I'm like, what? Like, that's so crazy. And
so crazy. She knew that. She's not that old. Her kids are not that old. She knew that.
At the time, you know, his dreams were to play in the NBA. And that summer, you know, he got with the wrong agent and he did a couple tryouts, you know, one with the Lakers, one with the Knicks.
She's a great hype woman. If you wanted someone to make you sound really good, even though you're an evil person, apparently, she's the girl to go to. you know, he got the wrong agent. It wasn't his fault at all. He did nothing wrong. He went to the 2 best teams that exist in the entire country, the coolest ones, LA and New York. You know, no big deal. He's really hot too. He's got abs.
And just, it didn't work out. And we thought, what are we going to do? Like, either you go play overseas in Greece or something. We move we go as a family. But nothing is, you know, set in stone. Like, we don't know what that looks like. And so then that's when we were like, let's start YouTube.
Back in the beginning, once Elle was born, whose decision was it to make her a part of the content?
It just came naturally. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I didn't film my birth with Elle. It was like, you know, we were just private, you know, we filmed on our phone, you know, we weren't making a vlog. And
we didn't film it. We did film it, but we didn't film it. We filmed it just in case, but we didn't like have a plan to edit it. You know how it goes. Okay. Asari Shepherd, welcome Asari. Asari says, wasn't this mom a call girl? Yikes. Wasn't this mom a call girl? I don't know. She doesn't say. She's glossing over what she is. She said she moved to LA, didn't go into any more details, didn't seem like she was working, and then said she ended up at a white apparel party, which sounds like a Diddy party, and then met him, and then he messaged her on Twitter. So, you know how that goes. That old trope.
You have strong sugar glider energy.
Am I right?
Wow, you're so wise.
That's for you, Asari. You are so wise. Okay. Back to this love fest.
And I think like it just made sense because we're so hands-on with our child, and I was not going to get a nanny. I'm like, I'm going to raise my daughter, you know, I'm finally have my daughter here, you know, and I thought, oh,
you weren't going to get a nanny, but how do you have money back then if you didn't even know you could monetize videos? Something is missing here. What is missing? Help me out. What is missing? This story is bullshit to me.
We can make content with our daughter, you know, we can just naturally, organically share our journey.
Did you have any hesitations?
No.
In the beginning or later on about putting your kids on camera?
Sounds like no, Scott.
Never. And you know why, Alex?
Why?
Because back in the day, it was really new. Like YouTube, it's been a thing for a while, but we were really like that, like, I hate to say the word, but I feel like we kind of pioneered that like family vlogging experience, you know?
So you ruined generations of children's lives. That's what you're saying. Okay, good. Take ownership. Did you, she even gave her an out here. She said, Alex said, did you feel like you had any hesitations before and now? Never. Okay. Have you seen any other bad scenarios happen? No. Okay. Good for you, because I see quite a lot. There's actually a person in prison right now for abuse that she had a pretty big channel. 8 passengers. You might have heard of it. No. Must be nice. Must be freaking nice. Asari, thank you so much, Asari. Asari says, I'll always be your sugar glider. I'm here for it. Oh, thank you.
Jeez, this is so good.
That's how I feel about that. And also, Asari, this is what I want to say to you.
I'm proud to be proud of you.
For showing up and being present. Thank you.
You know what I mean? Yes. It's like we were the first to do it at that magnitude in that way. And it was like, it was like when this monster of like social media was starting, you know, sometimes I think back and I'm like, oh my God, am I part of this craziness that's going on now in the world, you know?
Yes.
Because obviously, I'm sure you've seen it, but like there are people that accuse you and Austin of exploiting your kids.
Yes.
Like, what do you say to that?
Yeah, I just think that like when we first started, it was so pure. It was like pure intentions. It was like, obviously we want to make a living, you know, like
no one gives a shit about anyone's pure intentions. If you hurt somebody, if you exploit your kids, I don't care what your intentions were. You're still doing it, and there's enough knowledge and resources and media out there to you could see now that it was a mistake. There's no excuses anymore.
Anyone wants to make a living, you got to work. But it was more like we're just being present with our family, our daughter. And it's interesting because we would make these elaborate videos, and we found out very early on that people enjoyed our family vlogs, our simple family vlogs sitting on the floor. Those would get more views than our like big elaborated videos we would spend money on and doing. So it was just like, well, people.
I wonder why that is. I wonder what creepy thing that could mean. No, let's not think about it. Okay.
Just want to see us. They just relate to us. Maybe they see themselves in us.
So much of your success is through your children. Like, did you guys have a big conversation about setting them up with money and
no, probably not.
Like putting money away for them? Or was it more just like, it's all the families?
Yeah. No, they have their separate bank account.
That's good. I'm glad.
I actually very early on in my career, I think 2017 when Elle was about a year old, we got her a bank account, you know? Yeah, I think that those were the conversations and things we were having.
Yeah.
But in terms of like exploitation and stuff, like that never crossed our mind. That was like.
But that's willful ignorance. Willful.
Like, I just feel like we were just the beginning of something new.
How do you feel about it now?
Yeah, good question.
You know, we're in the age of technology. And
bitch. Sorry.
You know, it's like there's no right or wrong.
Yes, there is. There is right and wrong, and you are doing wrong. Come on. You put your kids through, you made your children as babies employees. You depended on your children for income solely. That is messed up. And there's so many examples of kids being like totally traumatized by this experience. There is right and wrong. You are wrong. I hate people who just act, well, we just wanted to share our stories. It's like, we authentically nothing about vlogging or video production at all is being present. It is setting up stuff to capture the future constantly. And you're reviewing it, which is the past. There is literally nothing more lacking of presence than making content. Thank you.
I think that like if people choose to keep their certain private things away from social media, that's beautiful. And I think that if some people choose to do it the opposite way, I think that that's beautiful too.
What choices did your children have? What choices did you give them when they were newborns and could not communicate, that you were shoving them with a camera in their face and uploading it to YouTube for money? So many choices that they were unable to make. So she's saying the important thing is choice. However, she did not give her own children choice. That's my problem with it.
I think that everything's meant to be the way that it's meant to be.
Once you guys kind of started really
annoyed
becoming yourselves and people knew the Ace family, like on a good month, can I ask, like, how much were you guys making?
So there was a period we were making 7 figures a month.
Insane. That's insane.
Me,
I want to know how it started. I'm curious. What was the first month? What was year one? Like, what was the progression? Was it immediately $1 million? I can't imagine.
It was like I was numb to it. Truly, like it was just like it didn't make any sense. I was going through this phase in my life where I just felt so disattached. And now I look back and think, oh my God, I would have done so much with that. I would have invested. I would have bought my mom a house, my dad a house. I would have done this and that. And it's like, we just didn't have the right mentors. We didn't have the right tools.
You were making $1 million a month, and it didn't cross your mind because you didn't have a mentor to buy your parents a house. I'm sorry. There's a lot of, again, willful ignorance going on here. And, oh, little old me, how did I know? We didn't have a mentor. I think most people, when they win the lottery, they go, I'm going to buy my parents a house. I'm going to pay off my debts. Like, you don't need to be a genius to know, hey, what my values are if you get a large sum of cash. I feel like I'm being meaner than I really intended to. I thought we were just going to like talk about Austin's behavior. I'm really not liking her at all. There is no authenticity to be seen from what I can tell. And it's unfortunate because I wanted to be like, okay, now, let me forgive the past. I disagree, but maybe she's grown. This is not the vibe I'm getting from this, obviously. It's she's bothering me a lot, to be honest, because it seems like, again, like, at least admit your mistakes and things you could have done better. Don't act like, oh, there was nothing we could have done. I just didn't know. You did know. You made choices. Own them. Jeez.
You know, we had a lot of yes men around us, and we just made really bad business decisions along the way.
Once you guys started filming everything,
did you know my husband played D1 basketball? Like, that's what I expect her to say at the end of every sentence.
All the time. When did it start to feel like you weren't just filming parts of your life, but you were living to film and get content?
Day one, it sounds like to me.
Like, when do you think that switch happens? Because I feel like for a lot of creators,
yeah,
it happens.
Oh my gosh, yeah. There was moments where I'm like, because, you know, like big reveals and stuff, like people want to watch those. That's a great clickbait. And so, you know, it was genuine for a long time. It was like, okay, like he's genuinely surprising me. He's genuinely proposing to me. Like, it was like, wow, like this is so crazy that we can capture such a big milestone, big moment.
So crazy. I don't believe her for 1 second. There is zero trust coming from me. It was genuine. We had a Lamborghini flown in from a helicopter spontaneously. Give me a break. It's not how it works. It's not how it works. If you are good at YouTube, which I am not that good at YouTube, okay? Given my numbers and money that I make, I will never make 7 figures. I wish I could. But you know what the hell you're doing. There, if you've seen the 8 Passengers docuseries that just came out recently, where they show some of the behind the scenes footage of the vlogs, there was effort and thought and say it again this way. And remember the woman who, her and her son were doing vlogs and they're crying because the dog died. And she's like, okay, he's crying. She's like, pose for the thumbnail. That takes effort. That takes thought. That takes preconceived. Your whole life revolves around this. There is no genuineness. I'm sorry to break it to everybody. There isn't. It's not. It is the only time that is anything is pure is when there's no cameras around. There's like a concept, I feel like, in psychology, when people even go to like remote islands, it changes the studies. Just being observed can change your entire being, whether you even are aware of it or not. There's like a whole phenomenon. But I don't buy this whole, it was genuine, it was just happening, and we just happened to click the camera on. No, you didn't. That's baloney. Asari Shepherd. Thank you so much, Asari. Asari says, remember when Facebook first came out, older people were like, why do you want to put your photo album online? They make a good point for this exploitation. Yeah, I do remember the old days where it was like, don't put your face on the internet. And I yearn for those days. I truly do. I yearn for the MySpace, just code the website and put your name in reverse and don't talk about yourself. I honestly do. But I know, I mean, at the same time, I'm saying that facetiously. I do like the internet, and I'm glad that it is somewhat, okay to express yourself. But also, it's not always good.
But also,
for you, Asari, I'm going to sing a song for you. Wait.
Time for me, you, and all the nations to get us some elevation. Whew.
What does that soundbite mean? Nobody knows. Okay. Back to it. Back to it.
And we can actually look back on it too, like it's filmed. But then also having so many eyes on you, I didn't know back in the time, now I know, but I didn't know that I was not protecting myself. But the moment that I realized that where I don't know if this is real or not real, I don't know, that must have happened genuinely. There was like a big moment for me. It was when my second daughter was born. I just felt this disconnection, and it was like, I actually don't want to film this, but like, I know that people are waiting for it because they've invested so much. And there was this fine line of...
Now, you don't see a problem with that people in the world are invested in your giving birth to see it Why are they invested in that? That's weird.
Like, do I put my foot down and just like live in the moment, or do I also and then he was holding the camera, so it made it easier, but then it was like, is he here though? Is he present? So that was like a big moment for me.
And
so what did you end up doing?
Did you end up releasing a video?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. No, obviously I chose money over my children and my own beliefs. Yeah, have you not heard the rest of what I said today? Come on, girl.
How did you feel about it?
I was just like really numb and empty at the time. Yeah.
Did you?
How do you feel now? Because it sounds and seems like you are still numb and empty, to be honest, unfortunately. I feel badly for her, but also like, do some more work. Come back in 5 years and let's have this conversation again, because you ain't there yet.
Do you ever find that you started to not be clear if Austin was doing romantic gestures for you because he was filming it so it would look good for you guys as a couple? Or were you like, wait, is he actually doing this romantic gesture and he just happens to be filming?
Oh, totally. Yeah, there was moments where I'm thinking like, I don't know, like, you really surprised me, you know? Whereas like, and then it was like me kind of having to follow with that like surprise. And then I'm like, I feel like I'm a clown in a circus. You know what I mean?
Right. Because
that's a good soundbite.
You couldn't just naturally be like if my husband surprises me, of course I'm going to be surprised. But then you kind of like chill for a second after and be like, wait, when did you think of this? But you see the camera. So then it's like, keep it going. Call the kids down. Get everyone around. Let's run to the.
Yeah, it's scripted. Yeah, it's a whole, like I just said, it's a whole thing. There's not 1 second of authenticity. You can't. To make it successful, you can't.
The backyard, and it's like it's a production. And it's theatrical.
Mm-hmm.
Which feels like you probably were on this hamster wheel where it's like you can't get off this ride almost. And did you and Austin ever have a conversation being like, let's set boundaries of like what we should keep private and what we shouldn't?
There might have been moments where we kind of talked about, but to be honest with you, not really. Like, we didn't have that communication within ourselves. Yeah.
Because we didn't give a shit. Period. Move on. It's unfortunate. It's like, to me, it's like saying they got a pool and they considered, maybe in the back of their mind putting a fence around it, but they just didn't talk about it. And so they didn't do it. And then all their kids drowned. Like, that's how dangerous it seems to me to not put any thought into it. And yes, okay, time has passed. Things were different back then. I could see a little bit of that. I would give some grace. But it does not seem like upon further reflection, she would change a goddamn thing, which is very disappointing to me.
In the book, you write that Austin made a lot of financial decisions without asking you, and that it was so extreme you would check your bank account and see 6 figures missing. Where was all the money going?
Yeah, there was moments where, I'd see some money coming out and it was, to pay this, pay that. And it was like, I didn't feel like I was having that that partner, that husband and wife conversation about our finances. Mm-hmm. And it would be heartbreaking to look at the bank because I was very well aware of what was in there. And it's like, where did that go? Like, what's happening? Or like, one thing as well, it's like little things that, things that I would never think to pay for, like a private jet, for instance, that personally for me wasn't something I would ever do. Like if I had never met him, I would have never been on a private jet today. I'm like, probably never, because I'm thinking like, I'll just take a regular flight.
Oh my God. She's so humble queen. She just would like fly normal like the rest of us. Oh my God. She's just like us.
Her charisma is straight up off the charts.
Wow.
This is so profound.
I only took a private plane because I had millions of dollars a month. That's the only reason. It's crazy.
But little moments like that.
But it seems, which makes me sad for you, because I feel like that unfortunately is a lot of people's experience where you're like, I didn't feel like it was a partnership when it came to finances, and yet you were 50-50 in making all this money. Like, did you?
I wouldn't say 50-50. I would say divvied up to the children as well. She was like, 25% or whatever.
ever go to him and be like, Austin, I feel a little bit in the dark here. Like, we need to have...
Yeah, for sure.
And how did he react when you would bring that up?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want you to worry. And I don't know. I just feel like, I get it. But it's like, that's not what a marriage is about. A marriage is about talking about these very deep things that really affect like our children and our future. And like,
oh yeah, like putting your kids on camera. You didn't have a problem not talking about that. You only have a problem about him spending money, which is bad, yes. But maybe instead of private jet cost, you should talk about, hey, are we harming our children right now? Right? You just said that's what marriage is about. It doesn't sound like you did.
When you make certain investments, the goal is to make at least make your money back.
Yeah.
And so that was really stressful for me. That really caused a lot of stress and strain in our relationship.
That's what I was wondering, because I know you write a lot about the home foreclosure that you guys went through, which was so public. And so many people were talking about it of like, are they broke? What's happening? And you put a lot of the detail beautifully in the book, but like...
It was a beautiful foreclosure chapter.
Overall, when you look back at that moment in your life, what did losing that house represent to you?
So leading up to that moment, I felt like there was a lot of things that I was losing control over, right? My family, my relationship, our career, everything, right? There was a lot of narratives and things that were being said. And I was really strong. And I was like, I'm going to be strong and, I'm going to keep fighting. And we have our home, we have our home. Our kids are happy there.
Our small, tiny, 20,000 square foot mansion in the hills. We have that at least. Give me a break.
You're healthy. We're healthy. Everything's fine. And so one day I wake up and I get a phone call. It's my father-in-law. He said, Catherine, the house is under foreclosure. It's all over the news. And I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? He goes, well, your loan ended and it's a jumbo loan. No one's going to accept you. You don't have the certificate of occupancy. But I'm like, but I've been paying the mortgage every month for 3 years. Everything. What do I need to do? What do I need to pay? I'll save it. What do we need? There's nothing you can do. It's under foreclosure. It's gone.
There wouldn't have been a notice. There wouldn't have been any indication. This is their first time. Her whoever called her and said that was her first indication. That seems shocking that would be possible, to keep yourself so quarantined, for lack of a better word, off from the world and your own world that you would not know that. That's crazy.
You have 30 days to move out.
Oh my God.
There is a point where it's like, okay, yeah, your partner is holding things back, but there's also a point where you need to take control. Legally, you can go and get all the paperwork because you are both married. You have legal access to get this stuff. Like, I don't know if I feel bad. I kind of don't, to be honest. I was going to say I feel badly for her, but honestly, take some responsibility. You're an adult with multiple children and millions of dollars. Pay someone to keep track of your shit. What are you doing?
Yeah. And it was heartbreaking. I cried in ocean. And it's crazy because...
It's another good soundbite. I cried in ocean.
Out of all the things that were happening in that era, that was the thing that really broke me. Because I was looking for a home my whole life. It's like I just wanted to feel like I'm at home.
Can you explain to me, because I'm sure people are...
There's other homes that you can do this that aren't $10 million, I'm sorry to say. And you didn't have to build it from scratch. There's other homes you could be in.
Really confused and want a little bit of clarity on like...
Yeah, me.
There was so much going on behind the scenes, obviously, that people didn't know. Like, what was it really like between you and Austin when the cameras were off?
When the cameras were off, I wouldn't say that there was much of a change.
Okay.
I think if anything, at least I can speak for myself, I feel like I was pretending. You know what I mean? It's like, I feel like
I'm doing right now also.
I was just so disconnected from myself, not like everything around me, but like within myself, And I was like, all of this happened so fast. Like, I gave birth. We started a YouTube channel. It grows overnight. I'm a new mother. I'm newly married. There's all these eyes on us. There's so many people that want things from us. And, you know, it was just a lot of things. And so when the cameras were off, it was more like, I'm just going to...
People want things from us. How do you think your kids feel? If you feel this way, how do you think your kids feel?
Sit here and breastfeed my baby and just like scroll on my phone. Like, I never went out. I never hung out with my friends. I hardly saw my family. I was in a really dark place.
Let's talk about the cheating allegations. So over the years, there were so many different allegations of Austin cheating on you. And it was a pretty constant conversation online for a couple years. At first, how much attention were you giving to these rumors? And did you even believe them?
I didn't know. I had no idea that there is multiple cheating allegation stories and videos out there constantly. And his girlfriend did live in our house, but I was unaware because it's a different wing. And I wasn't in that area that much. Asari Shepherd, thank you so much, Asari Shepherd. Asari says, I don't know. How'd they lose that house? Sounds sus. Yeah, I wish they didn't move on from that so quickly. So what was it? They didn't have an occupancy license? Okay. But there's more to that story. There has to be more to that story. They don't just take away homes from people who are paying the bills. You know, I don't know. Maybe they do, but I don't have a house. So what would I know? I live in an apartment. I don't have a house.
I am getting emotional right now.
Only people with houses can get emotional. Anyways, yeah, that whole story sounds suspicious AF to me and not the true story. And if she is that blind and uninvolved, that is on her to some degree to fix that, because you are in danger, girl.
First started.
When it first started, my heart sank. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I remember like sitting with myself, oh my gosh, like, is this gonna happen? You know? And then it was like, oh, well, I see him. I'm with him every day. Like, we're co-parenting, we're married, we're business partners. I mean, when is he gonna have time? But it's really interesting.
Interesting drop, co-parenting when you're married. She's talking in the present tense. We're married, we are co-parenting. Usually you say co-parenting when you're divorced. Were they ever even together? Is this all a vlog business? Is this the Truman Show selfie style? I feel like I'm on to them.
I was telling my mom the other day, I remember when I was 16 years old and I walked into a room where the TV was on, and there was, it was that talk show, Tyra Banks. And there was a lady who said, if a man has enough time to go into the bathroom, he has enough time to cheat. And it just stuck with me.
That's the Tyra Banks show. Remember the time Tyra Banks pretended to like have rabies? That show is crazy. Tyra Banks is insane. We should do a Tyra Banks episode. That would be bangin'. Tyra bangin'. Okay, next week maybe, or some other week.
And I thought, does he have enough time to cheat on me? You know what I mean? And so that was kind of like the beginning. It's like, I don't know what's true or not. And, you know, and I'd even have moments where we'd be laying in bed, you know, just falling asleep. And I'd get a text from a random number. Your husband is out at a party with me, da da da. And I'm thinking like, he's right over here. So there's moments I didn't know what to believe. There's some things that are true. There's some things that are distorted. There's some things that are not true. So it was really hard to tell.
And in those moments, did you, because I know you're kind of saying your communication wasn't great. When the allegation started, did you bring it up to him at all? Or was that another thing that you guys kind of were like?
Yeah, no. I brought it up.
And what was his response in the beginning?
Oh, you know, that comes with the territory, and let's not respond because we're just going to add fuel to the fire, and it's not true. I'm like, okay, you know, and
and you trusted him?
I did. Yeah, I really trusted.
I still do, honestly.
Him.
He played D1 basketball. How could he lie?
When you look back at the very beginning, like the very beginning allegations, do you believe even then he was cheating?
No.
Can you take me to the moment where you...
Now, why would you come to that conclusion? He cheated 20 times later, but in the beginning, he was faithful. In the beginning, it was pure. In the beginning, like, what?
Found out about he was cheating. And then we'll dial it back to like all the others. But the first big moment, you were like, oh shit, he's cheating. Where were you? What happened?
In our hectic, fast-paced life.
Not the Haagen-Dazs. They know their audience. Tinder and Haagen-Dazs, their sponsor. They know girls like me be watching. Girls like me want the tea and the drama. Now I gotta go get me some Haas and Das. Because I've been influenced. I've been influenced by an influencer to get some Haagen-Dazs cones. You know? Get the fuck out of here. Babak. Thank you so much, Babak. Babak says, hi, Kia. Hope your week went pretty well. Oh, my God. Thank you. I don't remember my week, actually. I don't really think about things. I don't know how my week was. I'm not sure how it was. We never talked about it. For this I say, and thank you. And also, one more thing for you.
Be elite.
That's advice for you, Babak. Okay.
Oh shit, he's cheating. Where were you? What happened?
Yeah, so there was like quite a few moments.
Okay.
But there was a
Let's
couple
go through
of
it.
moments where I was like, I'm heartbroken.
Okay.
Like,
The first one. Let's go to the first.
so, I don't remember exactly the first moment because I feel like there's just so many. But there was this one moment. I had just had my daughter, my second daughter. She was about 6 months old or something. And he was like, hey, I have to go to Miami for a meeting and I go, please. And I'm the type of partner where I love for my partner to feel free. Like, I trust you. Go, you want to go on a trip, you want to go on a boys trip, whatever you want to do, go. Like,
Now, again, do you still feel this way? Or are you realizing that was naive, perhaps? Perhaps. And I'm not saying people shouldn't have freedom. They should. But you trusted him. Did you feel like that was the wrong person to trust? Let me know.
Like, that's just my personality. Now I look back, I'm thinking, like, I should change some things up a little bit and care a little bit more.
Right.
But at the time, I just had a baby. I was tired. I was filming every day. I had another baby, taking care, changing diapers, breastfeeding. I breastfed all my kids 5 years straight. Wow. So,
Oh my God. She's a real mom. I breastfed my kids. Okay. She remembers that.
super exhausted, super tired, and so he said, I want to go to Miami. And I said, you go on your trip. And I remember calling my mom and my mom saying, I would never let my husband leave when my baby's just a couple months old. Like, I don't know, you're different. And I'm thinking, oh, well, I don't know. I was like, I think he deserves it. He's been working so hard. He edits. People don't realize he edited every single video on our channel. We didn't have an editor. So I thought, he deserves to go out. Like, it's okay. He wants to go on a business trip, whatever.
That is kind of surprising.
I remember that business trip like it was yesterday, that business trip. He called me quite a few times where I felt like, you're calling me a little too much. Like, I was just like, I don't know, like, it's okay, go have fun, know? And he pocket dialed me accidentally. And I heard women in the back. There were a couple women. And I thought, okay, well, I guess my husband's hanging out with women. Yeah. I'm thinking, whatever. Hung up the phone, continued my day. A couple of months go by, and this blonde male makeup artist makes this video on YouTube talking about my husband and how he was in Miami, and there was this group of people, and there was all the...
Is this Jeffree Star, the blonde male makeup artist? Could be. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna go back. So what's happening in Miami?
About my husband.
Well, you already know he went to Diddy parties because you were also at the Diddy party. And I'm saying that allegedly because she said it was a white color party. So I'm just assuming here.
And how he was in Miami, and there was this group of people, and there was all these girls, and there was this boat, and all these. And to be honest with you, till this day, I never watched the video. But I have gotten that information from some good friends who...
Willful ignorance. Third time in this, well, more than three, but three that I'm saying it myself. I've never watched the video. I don't want to know.
For me, and were able to process it for me and help me process it. And I was pregnant in that moment. And I had to listen to that. And nobody knew I was pregnant. I was having my son. And I remember bawling and thinking, is this true? And even if it's not true, why are people saying this? This is so detailed and and I believed, I didn't believe the horrors, but it was
The whores or the horrors? I need to clarify, please.
Am I just being stupid right now? Like, am I just really not sitting with this? Or do I vindicate him? Do I vindicate our family? And that's what I did. And I think back at my old self, and I think, poor girl, like, I wish I could hug her today. Like, she was just going through so much. And she, the old version of myself just wanted to protect that little piece we had in the family, you know?
I think whenever she says the piece that they had, that's money. That's what they call their bank account. They call it peace. Because that's the only reasonable explanation here. That doesn't sound like peace that you were protecting at all. The peace is gone. People are calling your phone, texting you, saying that your husband's cheating constantly. That sounds like chaos. You're protecting the bank accounts. You weren't protecting your kids. That's for damn sure. So the only thing that was being protected was the Benjamins. Ben got protected.
And I would see it in his eyes, and I'm thinking, like, I don't know, like, something's not right, but I'm going to have a baby and I have to focus on the baby right now. So I wasn't sure, right? And that was a big moment for me because...
Take off responsibility from your relationship and put it on the kids. Just like you take off the responsibility of working a real job and give it to your kids to help fill in the gaps. Cool.
There was some things that were being said that it just made a lot of sense. It was all adding up. You know what I mean?
And did you confront him?
Yeah, I did, but not in a way where I was like, it was more like, how do we fix this? Because this is not true. And he's like, yeah, that's not true. That's, you know, what, this guy, and he's making things up, and oh my God, he's trying to extort me and this and that. And, you know, some of those things were true, some of them weren't. And I thought, how do we fix it? And I was just lying to myself. Yeah. I knew deep inside something didn't feel right.
Yeah.
But then a couple months later, I was, we were filming this thing called Vlogmas on YouTube. People film every day for the month of December. And we had done it, you know, it was like a common
I
theme
remember.
we would do every winter. And this was in December. And I was, you know, at that point, I was like about 3 months pregnant with my son. Mm-hmm. I didn't know I was having a boy yet. So I just, you know, I was pregnant. I wore baggy shirts and like, you know, like I'd wear bigger shirts because I didn't want anyone to know yet. I wanted to keep it to myself, especially because there was all this like negativity going around.
And also they have to plan the YouTube videos to announce and to do all these things. There's money tied into the ramp up to the pregnancy. Why do you think these people get pregnant so many times? Because it's a pipeline from pregnancy announcement, surprising my husband that I'm pregnant, then it's the gender reveal, then it's the buying stuff for the baby, number 3, then I'm putting my kids and having them guess what the name of the baby is going to be, and then we're going to have this and that. It's like, it's all a business thing. They can't let other people beat them to the punch. That's what they care about, in my opinion. Not, oh, this is a private thing. It's so private, I'm going to put the birth on my YouTube channel. Give me a break.
About him.
Yep.
So I'm like, I'm just going to keep this to myself. And then there was this moment that changed everything for me. I had a dream. I have a lot of dreams. Yeah. Very symbolic. I'm sure you do too.
Yeah.
I had a...
So unique. She's so unique.
Oh, this is really good for me.
Dream where I was walking into my bedroom, the bedroom I was sleeping in. We had this massive, long, 10-foot bed. I'm walking into the room and he's sitting in the bed and there's a woman with this beautiful blonde hair and I just see the back of her and she turns around and she's this demon. And I woke up from that nightmare and I was crying. I was like, oh my God, that was the worst nightmare I've ever had. Like there was a demon on my bed.
Jeffree Star as a demon.
And the whole day felt eerie. It was so eerie. It was so weird. And I didn't tell anybody. And I was just like, that's so weird. Couple of hours later, we start filming. And we go to this studio to get my daughter's first haircut. She was a year old. She's getting her first haircut.
Can you imagine? This is their business. Daughter's first haircut. We need to make money. Let's go get our daughter's first haircut. Is nothing sacred.
And he, you know, our assistant, who was Austin's friend from back in the day, was there. It was Austin and myself and our daughter. And when we walked in, you know, there were some fans and they were like, can we take a picture? And I'm like, yeah, like, let's finish filming you doing this and we'll take the photo. So they're all waiting there. And, you know, everyone in the salon knows who we are and stuff. So it was just, you know, a regular moment. Yeah. We're there filming. He's filming our daughter's first haircut. And I'm kind of like, I'm taking photos for myself for my phone, you know, like, oh my gosh, like taking the photo. And then like a movie, my phone dies. It just goes black. And I look at him without a thought and I go, give me your phone. Let me take a photo. Because, you know, we're going to miss the moment. She's getting her first haircut. As soon as my hand grabs that phone, mind you, I had never looked in his phone. Ever. Never. I grabbed the phone and it felt kind of weird because I'm like holding his phone, right? Like it just felt odd because I knew maybe things he was hiding. I didn't want to look.
Yep.
As soon as I grabbed the phone, like out of a movie, this long text comes through. If you really love your wife, you wouldn't be da 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 da. And I like my brain scanned it, but I wasn't able to read it fully. But in that moment, my heart drops. I'm pregnant. There's people watching us. The camera's on. It felt like it just felt surreal. Mm. The assistant notices, looks at him. He grabs the phone from me and instantly deletes the message. And I thought, oh my gosh, it's true.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then I did nothing about it. And then I proceeded to lie for years afterwards.
And I was calm, very calm. And we paid and we finished. I wasn't in my body anymore. I wasn't on earth anymore. We walk out of the store or the salon and I said, Austin, who was that? And he's like, it's nobody, it's nothing. Please tell me who that was. I saw the text. And I kept replaying what I could have done. Should I ran to the bathroom? Like, should I take, I'm like, what should I have done?
Like tackle him and read it.
I was like, I didn't get to fully read it.
But you saw enough that it said, if you really love me, you'll leave your wife.
It was an emotional, I saw enough to know instantly, this is an emotional relationship he's having with somebody. This is a woman that is having a relationship with my husband. And
I do agree. You can tell quickly from a text if it's long and it has certain vibe to it. I feel like I agree. You could tell within a split second, like, oh, this is something bad.
And we got in the car and, you know, then my voice got a little, who was that? Oh, like lower your voice, the kids. And I'm like, okay. And I'm calming myself. The kids are in the car. Let's it's have grace, right? Stay strong, poised, get home. We get home, blacked out. I was like, yelling, screaming, tell me, please just tell me who that was. Right. Please I feel so stupid. Just tell me, I'm having a baby. Please just tell me. And I ran out of the house. I got in my car and I just started driving. And I didn't know where I was driving, just driving. Crying in ocean, bawling. I couldn't even see where I was driving. And I thought I need to park somewhere. So I went.
Hold on. I have the perfect soundbite for that. I've been waiting forever to use. I've used it sometimes, but this is the perfect moment. Don't ruin it, myself.
You can choose to stay blind.
Oh, this one's even better.
Take off your glasses and go drive a vehicle.
Thank you.
Into a park. Parked at the park. Put my hands on the wheel and I said, God, if you hear me, please tell me what to do. And in that moment, it's so interesting because I knew that one day I'd have a son and that I would name him Steel. There was like this inner knowing. Mm-hmm. And
okay. You were just in the middle of a very intriguing story that I was hooked into and willing to, like, again, give you the benefit of the doubt. Now we're going off course. Steal. Mr. Steal Your Man. Oh, no. Mr. Steal Your Girl. Oh. Is it steal like steal or steal like stolen steal? Curious.
When I had that conversation with God and I was really just like a point of just, I'm surrendering. Just tell me what to do. And I heard this voice and it was like, you are having your son. There's a reason you named him Steel. You have to stay strong for this whole pregnancy, and just don't make any impulsive decisions. Just keep going.
This is a long ass message from source. This is a voice memo coming to the dome. Some people just get signs. Some people get like, you must impregnate your 2 girlfriends. She gets full on, okay, step 1, you're going to pull over. And step 2, you're going to stay strong because Steele needs to be born. And 3, it's, oh my God, people are having full on conversations in their head while they're driving. That's scary to think.
Just keep this in the back of your mind. It's gonna live there, and you're going to see everything's going to make sense, but don't make any big decisions right now. And I went home and I acted like nothing. I didn't talk to him for a couple days. I think that was the longest we'd ever gone without talking since we met. I think we went like 2-3 days. And then I texted him and I was like, we need to talk. And we took a drive. We met in the middle of a street and we got in the car and he told me who she was and he showed me. And I was like, okay, so that was the girl you were talking to a couple months back. Now it's all making sense. Like you said, you were talking to a girl that needed help with Snapchat. And I'm thinking like, why is a married man talking to a woman about Snapchat? Like,
babe, it's not what it seems like. I'm a coach. I'm helping her with her yoga on Snapchat. Of course, it's nude, but that's beside the point. I'm a helper. I'm a giver. I give so much. I give and I give.
I am such a giver.
My Snapchat advice to ladies on the internet.
Snapchat wasn't even monetized in the day. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you doing? Like, okay, this is making sense. Okay, this is making sense. Okay, so I thought, okay, well, what do we need to do? Like, how can we move on from this? Like, what do we do? Like, I was like, and I didn't tell him this at the time, but I thought I can forgive him because he's crying out for help. And
is he?
Because at the time I was
instantly confronted and denied it. Doesn't sound like he cares that much, unfortunately.
I wasn't religious. I'm still not religious. You know, I believe in Christ, but I'm not bound by like religious structures. But I was very like, you stick to your husband. I was very...
She doesn't believe in Christ, but she's having full-on conversations? Interesting.
Very like traditional in that sense. And
she does believe in Christ. Okay. She doesn't believe in religion. Okay.
I don't know who made me like that, but I was just that way. And I thought, okay, maybe I can forgive him, you know? And so as the days went on, you know, then we went to a trip to Hawaii. Someone said we should go there because, you know, that's where the heart chakra of the planet is. And, you know, maybe we can get some healing.
Oh, God. The crossover section of this. Yeah, what we don't need to go to a counselor or to deal with our issues. We just need to go to Hawaii to heal our heart chakra. Oh my God, these people. You know, the best way to heal your relationship is my bank account chakra. Here's the numbers. Deposit 50% of your income. I'll heal you right now. I swear.
This is just stupid.
Oh, geez. Hawaii heart chakra. Okay.
So as the days went on, you know, then we went to a trip to Hawaii. Someone said we should go there because, you know, that's where the heart chakra of the planet is. And, you know, maybe we can get some healing. And so we went to Hawaii. And then that's when I had posted that I was pregnant. I'm thinking like, I'm getting bigger now. I need to post. Yeah. And yeah,
that was a Freudian slip, I think. And she's like, oh, I have to post now. I'm showing people are going to know. Nothing is done for the sake of doing it. Everything is to plan a schedule and for the fans, which is sad.
So it's a secret that I was carrying inside of me, and I wanted to like scream out loud that I was going through this, but I couldn't.
Listening to you say this though, Catherine, like so many times now, you've said the minute you find out, you're like, how can we fix this? How can we fix this? And I think it does.
The money. That's why.
A great deal of wealth is appropriate for me.
Sacrifice the kids, mental health, sacrifice your self-worth and dignity, sacrifice it all for the mighty dollar. Haven't we learned this lesson enough? We all know that's what it's about.
Connect to what you've been saying of like, you're on this hamster wheel, you're out of your body, all of this happened to your life and you're just going and you can't even like stop to be like, are you okay? Like, it's almost like it sounds like you weren't even like feeling, like you were just like, how do we fix this? It's like almost like your business. You're like, how do we fix this and move forward? How do I say bye my man and move forward?
Because family vlogging is a business, a very lucrative business at that. As she said, 7 figures a month ain't something you're just going to give up for some broad. Okay? She's not going to say that because it doesn't make her look like Mother Teresa.
Wondering though, when you're saying all this, like, is he apologetic in the car when he's speaking, or is he keeping it more like brushing it under the rug? It's not that big of a deal.
I'm going to be honest with you. It never felt apologetic, ever. Yeah.
Which is even more proof that she didn't care about him as a person, which I don't think she should if he's cheating on her. But she cared about keeping the image of a good family intact. Also, good reminder, when you're looking on Instagram, you see a picture of her beautiful, pregnant, in Hawaii. You're like, God, my life sucks. This is actually more reality. She's shutting her mind off, her self-worth off, to stick with a guy because money is coming in the door. It's shallow.
You know what's interesting is even through our divorce, even through everything, I never heard him say the words, I cheated, until about a week ago when that first chapter of my book came out. I've never heard him say the words, I cheated. And when I heard the words, I was like, oh my God, finally I heard it. Thank you so much. That was all I was waiting for. Thank you. That's all I need.
That's why she's going to get back with him. Because she's like, I was just waiting for you to say the key words. I cheated. Now we can go back to being together. Amazing. Because I love D1 basketball players so much.
Here. You could have just said it to me. You could have just been honest with me and just told me. But it was like I was being gaslighted. Like, yes. It wasn't actually happening. And it was like, and yeah, I think that finally hearing those words was so healing for me, because it's like I wasn't going crazy. Like, it was everywhere. Everyone was saying it.
Why do you think he decided to finally say those words? Just because you were officially calling him out?
That, and because now I understand the whole picture. I get it. I think a common theme for him was, because if you really think about it, what kind of woman sleeps with a married man whose whole identity is based on being a married man and being a family man, you know? So I kept.
Well, that's a kink for some ladies. That's the whole goal. You know how and it's not just men or women, it's like genderless phenomenon. But you know how there's tons of women who will tons is the right word, but there's women who will date exclusively men in prison. There's somebody for everybody. There's women that want to date married men for the validation that they are being chosen as the other woman over a seemingly good marriage. That is like the ultimate validator for some people, I think. You know. Anyways, Sorry Shepherd says, try asking questions, interviewer. I can't even. She has been pretty quiet, which I appreciate to a point, but I'm like, yeah, I don't dislike her interviews here. I'm kind of like, she's had a lot of the same questions that I've had. She's asked them, I appreciate that. And I find it this.
I want to be relatable.
I find her relatable. And also,
the draining failed and I went into cardiac arrest and died for just under 3 minutes. I had the most intense bruise.
That's too much. Okay, this is for you, sorry.
I was a waitress at Denny's.
I'm thinking, I kept going through those things as well. As like, women are really like that? Like women. And so what I was thinking was, he must have been telling this woman that I didn't care. And in that video he posted,
I don't think they ask,
last week, out of everything he said, I mean, everything was false, right? or distorted or whatever. But the one thing he said that really just like, it was like a punch to the gut, was that he said that yes, I cheated and she was okay with it as long as, he said, as long as I said you don't embarrass me. And that is not true.
I could kind of see that, to be honest. That makes more sense to me than I just didn't know and I had no idea and I just had no clue and I just didn't know. It just like seems like she was like, do whatever you gotta do. We gotta keep making this money. Go on Miami, go to the trip. I don't give a shit. You know, I feel like there's, in every lie, there's some truth. I feel like given her self-own that that's what she likes and she wants space and distance and whatever, and she had a 2-month-old and she's like telling him, yeah, go for it, whatever, on the trip to Miami. She probably did say that. Just don't let us ruin be smart. Don't let it ruin this opportunity that we have. That makes sense to me. I sort of do believe him maybe in that.
I never, ever said that. I would never say that. And I would never want my kids to think that that is okay to cheat on your husband or your wife. And I will make sure that I raise them and that they know that they never, ever do that, because that is so wrong. And you never cheat on the person you love. And I would never in a million years say that. So that was...
I don't see a tear. I'm waiting for a tear. Is it real or fake? I don't know. I'm 75% thinking fake, 25% being maybe she's being genuine.
It's really hurtful that he said that, because I'm like, are you just accept it?
Catherine,
people would understand that better.
He's putting the blame back on you. That's him taking no accountability. Think about.
Well, I agree. He is taking no accountability. But if he did think that she didn't care because it was so glaringly out in the open and she did not care, that is sort of an explanation for it. I'm not defending him at all. I think he's a scumbag, but that is possibly, they could both be true. She could be upset about it and not like it, and he could also be like, well, I told her I got caught the first time, and her response was, just don't get caught. I don't really care.
About that. The first time he acknowledges that he cheated, the end of his sentence, he can't just say, I cheated. Yes, I cheated because she told me, just don't make me look dumb. AKA, you were allowing him to go and have all these relationships, and you're sitting here being like,
I would never, Alex, I would never do that.
And I think now also understanding, like,
okay, I know I'm being a heartless bitch. I don't believe her. I'm sorry. I don't believe her. I think it's an act, personally. Sorry.
How you write in the book, you kind of talk about like once you really got the concrete evidence, then more came out. Like, how many more did you find out about?
I know personally of women. Like, I don't know them personally, like as I'm friends with them, but I know who they are. And I would never say their names.
Yeah.
Never. I would never, I'm not that kind of person. But I know of many.
Many as in like?
I know for sure of 3. Like for sure.
Have they ever reached out to you?
No, but they're out there in the world acting like that never happened probably. And I know the truth.
How many do you think there are?
I don't know. I saw some headline things saying he said there was 20 or something. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah.
Because I didn't watch his full video. But
she doesn't watch any videos except for her own vlogs.
I don't know if he did say that, kind of trying to cover himself.
Yeah.
Because I think when he saw the beginning, the first chapter of my book, he thought maybe that I wrote a lot more about him, but I kind of didn't in a sense. Like, to be honest with you, it's a memoir about my life. But I will say that when you write a book, you always put the hardest part of your journey in the beginning of the book, right? To catch the reader, to really draw them in. That's just something that as writers is common. And so
she's a marketing expert, honestly. She understands gripping people. So she's not I just authentically wrote words down. No, she's always trying to think of a business move, which, hey, great. But I'm not buying this humble pie. Oh, I just, I journaled and I made it into a book. I just captured my life and made it into content. No, you didn't.
He really got it backwards.
Gray hairs.
Want to ask you, there were some like viral cheating rumors that I want to just like get your opinion on. Tana Mojo recently revealed that she covered for Austin after you found lipstick in Austin's car. What really happened there?
Why is he hanging out with Tana Mojo? Weird overlap.
So she covered for him, which I believe that it's probably true. It definitely happened because I remember we had a Lamborghini at the time. I never drove that car. And I got...
Oh my God, she never drove the Lamborghini.
I'm scared.
I never drove the Lamborghini. I only drove the Maserati. Okay, sorry.
Got in one day as a passenger, and I noticed there was a lip liner or lip gloss, something like that, and it wasn't mine. And I thought, and I'm like, whose is this? He's like, oh, so and so got in my car the other day, and his girlfriend was on the lap, and I drove them down the street to get into their car, and I'm like, I don't believe you. Like, at this point now, I don't believe you.
Right.
He's like, I'm going to call him right now. And so I guess she was there. And, yeah, I think, I think her publicly talking about that is hurtful. Why didn't you call me? Message me. Hey, girl, I was there on that phone call. I just want to let you know, that wasn't true.
It was also rumored that Austin would hire...
Because she wants money too from her YouTube channel.
...nannies so he could sleep with them when you weren't around. Do you know if this is true?
No, we never had a nanny.
Never had a nanny.
Grandma.
Okay. Did you ever...
Maybe he slept with your grandma. Maybe that was one of the 20. Be weird.
Ever get confirmation if the infamous yacht orgy happened?
Yes, I actually did. Yeah.
Wow.
The infamous yacht orgy. Where was my invite?
And that was when...
Whatever.
He butt dialed you that weekend?
That was that weekend, yeah.
How did you get confirmation?
Through a friend who's married to a guy that was physically there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Spiritually, he was not. But physically, he was.
Years later, by the way.
Yeah.
When it didn't matter anymore. It just it was like, oh, really? Oh, okay. That's surprising me.
Right. You're like, shit.
I guess it didn't happen.
Did Austin really bring his mistress to a charity event you guys threw together at the Staples Center?
Yeah. So there was this girl.
I had no idea he's bringing dates to their events. I never said that.
The girl that I was talking about earlier, the one with the long text. So that was her.
Since that information came to light, Austin has completely denied it, said he would have never brought a girl there. That never happened. Like, what do you say to that?
To me, it's like, why lie about that? But now I know, like, you can lie about a lot of things that aren't true. So I'm like, okay, well, because the thing is that I knew that writing this book, there would be some kind of like retaliation or some things that are said.
Yeah.
I knew that, something would come from this, obviously, because, I wrote a book. I didn't know what magnitude that I wasn't aware of, but it's interesting because I saw it and I thought, this is not me, I'm past that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I truly feel like it was a test. Truly. It's like, you, Austin, you could have handled that differently. You could have said, I saw, see, she has a book out, and one of the things he said is I didn't tell him about the book. But the thing is when you go through a divorce, you don't really tell someone what you're doing. You know what I mean? And I had been promoting the book for 2 years. I've been talking about it. So he had seen it. I think if I would have mentioned the book to him privately, he may have wanted to try to stop me from doing it. So it was just something I was doing me, But yeah, I think that, he could have handled it differently. He could have said, I just saw that Catherine, my ex-wife, she has a book out, and he could have said something along the lines of, although I don't totally agree with what she said, I guess there's always different sides of the story, and I wish her well.
And I'm not proud of the things I did, but we've both moved on and whatever.
Yeah.
I just feel like the Staples Center moment for him to try to say that wasn't true, it's like, again, Austin trying to reclaim this narrative, because specifically that, I think because there's footage of you and your family, and it was such a core of who you guys were
totally
to the world, it makes him just look like an absolute fucking monster to like, you, if you're gonna cheat, can't you just go do it in private? Like, you have to put Catherine and your children through this. And so I think it must be him trying to reclaim the narrative a little bit and like litigate, like, well, no, I didn't bring her here, but I brought her. It doesn't fucking matter.
Well, the crazy thing is it did happen. And that's where I found out all the lies. So like that moment was
Is he like a sociopath? Like, I don't understand why you'd bring a girlfriend to an event that your wife is at. That doesn't even make logical sense. Confusing. I don't even get what the point is. Like, why? That makes no sense.
Significant moment in my life. So of course I'm going to talk about it if that was life-changing for me, because I was pregnant when...
Yeah, I didn't know this. I don't know anything about that. Look into that afterwards. Yikes. Thank you for telling us, Allie.
All of these things were going on, and I got confirmation from one of his family members saying, I told him not to bring that girl, and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm thinking like, what? You knew too? Like, I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, like, I'm just being blindsided over here. Like, I had no idea. Like, truly, like, yeah, I've been seeing the rumors and the narratives, but
she has no
gosh,
idea about a lot of things. Oops, sorry. The one thing she's got is no idea.
Like, why can't you tell me? Like, why don't you talk to me? Like,
was this before or after the text incident that you...
That was around the same time.
Okay. So that's when it all started to like come out. And then to go to this event and have that woman there. And now he's trying to say no. Mm-hmm. Okay. Austin recently tried to justify all of his cheating by saying you guys weren't having sex. Mm-hmm. What was your sex life like at the time?
So, sex, intimacy is very, very sacred to me. Mm-hmm. Like, more today than it has ever been. Mm-hmm. When I found out that there was cheating...
They have like 4 kids, right? 3 kids? There must have been some sex going on.
I checked out. Mm-hmm. And I said, my body is a temple. And I refuse to allow anybody to come near my temple if he cannot be honest and truthful and loyal. And it was like, I'm checked out. And it is true. And I wrote it in the book. I put the same exact, put 4 years. It was 4 years. It was actually more like 5 years if you think about it, because
5 years of what?
Of not being intimate with him. Okay. Because just to be completely transparent and honest, because I do feel like a lot of women and men can relate to this. Yeah. But I was going through a lot of postpartum, your body changes, you're breastfeeding and you're taking care of multiple children. And so we had my daughter, and then we had, I was pregnant that whole year, and I was, the cheating allegations, all the things. And I thought,
she's got the only human pregnancy in the world where you're pregnant for the full year. I let it slide the first time because I'm like, maybe she, misspoke. But now she said twice she was pregnant for a full year. It's like, no, you weren't.
I don't know. And then I got pregnant with my son, and I'm thinking like, maybe we can make this work. Maybe this is not what it all seems to be. And, we had just moved into our new house, and we're like, maybe we can have the family that we're always meant to have, the family that we're portrayed to the world, maybe we can really be that. Mm-hmm. And
again, Freudian slip. I think some of these things are coming through because she's been talking for so long. She's like, no, it was always genuine. It was always genuine. And now she's like, maybe we can be the family we portray the family to be. So which one is it? It's just genuine. You were just doing your thing and you hit record, or it was a full farce from the beginning. Sounds like the latter.
I got pregnant, and then and then I found out he was cheating on me, and that was it. That was, I never, ever, like,
Never again.
Never again.
And did he pursue you at all? Like, did he try?
No. And that's how I knew that there was cheating going on.
Right.
Yeah. And you know, now I know how that's not normal. At the time, I thought, you know, we're going through a lot, you know, there's a lot of bad things happening around us. You know, we have children, you know, and we're overworked and we're tired and we're stressed and we're anxious and all these things. And now I think back, I'm like, even when I would we would kiss, or it was a disconnection. And I thought, this isn't my husband. Like,
prior to all the
But we kept making vlogs pretending like everything was fine. Just saying.
cheating allegations, like, did you have like a healthy intimacy life with him?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that that's what part of, you know, our love and our bond. It's like we are so deeply connected, like in all ways. And yeah, I'm a huge part of this problem, though. It's like I take it full accountability on being in a relationship with someone and not also pursuing intimacy, because although I was disgusted and I didn't want like to be intimate, I didn't have these very serious conversations like, hey, maybe we should go see a therapist. Like maybe we should do couples therapy. Maybe like this isn't normal going like another year without being physically intimate. It is such an important part of a marriage.
I thought she was saying that like she stopped because she knew that he was cheating. So now she's saying, oh, but it's an important part of a marriage. But like, were you invested in the marriage even though you knew that he was cheating? I think you were there because you needed to keep the vlog going, right? That's what she's not saying.
Marriage in a relationship.
Was it the cheating that really broke down your marriage, or were you guys rocky before you found out and with the allegations?
It was a cheating. There was nothing else. Could handle anything.
I have to ask,
Very weird statement. I can't imagine a man that would cheat with 20 women and whatever while she's pregnant and all this stuff, be perfect in every other avenue. There's just no way. She's got to be out of her mind or full of shit. I don't know which one.
Austin said you weren't having sex because you believed you were the Virgin Mary reincarnated. What is your response to that?
It's really hurtful because it's just such a strange thing to say. For years in my spiritual journey, I would, you know, everyone in my circle and everyone knows how deeply connected I am to Christ and to Mother Mary. More than ever today, I feel like I can connect to her always. And I think that's just his way to just throwing jabs, just trying to make me look crazy, you know, try to paint a picture of she's crazy. Yeah, it's kind of sad.
Yeah. During all of this, I think this is something that's very...
I feel like she did say at one point that she's Mother Mary or something, because that answer was weird. She's like, I love Mother Mary. That's why I want to be like her. And that's why I said that I want to be her and I am her. I don't know. If someone was just like making an insult, I'd be like, yeah, well, he's the opposite. He's Satan. So of course he thinks I'm Mother Mary. Like, I don't know. That'd be my response.
Very sadly relatable, but you didn't confide in anyone, right? For most of the time. How did you decide not to tell your mom or anyone?
My decision was solely based on the fact that I didn't want that to change people's perception of him, because I thought that we could heal and we can get to a better place. I didn't want to say something and then them like have so much, you know, information. At the end of the day, it's like, it's almost like gossip, like, you know, gossiping. And I truly believe that gossiping is poison. And so I thought, you know, this.
Yeah, true. It's the gossip that's the problem, not the people perpetuating the things you're gossiping about, for sure. It's the women who are with your husband and it's the gossip, not him. He's a D1 basketball player. He's allowed to do what he wants.
This is my marriage and I'm just gonna keep it to myself because I need to figure it out within myself. When I decided that I wanted a divorce, that's truly when I told my parents and my family. It's like, I want to get a divorce. And they were very supportive of me.
I bet.
But was it like eating you alive, holding this on by yourself?
Definitely not.
Yes, and for a while it was, but I felt at one point, I'm like, everybody knows. You know? It's like everybody knows. It was like, it started to become so obvious.
I do think, which I'm interested to hear your opinion on this, like, I think there was a point where the public was almost shifting to being like so frustrated almost with you because all of these women are coming forward with like pretty detailed, tangible stories. And you guys are posting like a united front, nothing's going on. How do you think not acknowledging all of it publicly impacted your reputation?
Yeah, good question. Good question, Alex. Yeah, good question, Alex. I'm doing the thing I said I hated. Oh, God, I'm becoming my worst enemy. Okay.
Call Her Daddy is brought to you by
White Claw. Tinder, Haagen-Dazs, White Claw. Dang, the white girl trifecta. The menage a trois of millennial women all across the globe. They know us so well.
Chicago, Illinois. How do you think not acknowledging all of it publicly impacted your reputation?
Not well.
It deeply impacted my reputation. I felt like I was like in a fishbowl and like I couldn't, like, it's like all these eyes pressing in on me and I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, I don't know.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I didn't have a mentor. I don't know.
Do I protect?
It's my first time on earth.
Or do I say my truth and then my whole life?
It's not even protect or say your truth. It's you're actively lying to maintain a perception of your relationship that is false. That's the problem.
Changes. You know what I mean? And it's like, I always thought about my kids first. Like,
you did not. You did not think about your kids first. I'm sorry to say. Neither did him. Both of these parents did not think about the kids first once.
To be a mother to them, I need to mother them. Their mother needs to be happy, healthy, laughing, playing. Like, I don't want to like have two separate homes right now. I don't want to have to figure out what I'm going to do for a living now.
Okay, that's a cell phone. So then you did accept it. So then he's not actually lying, surprisingly. So it sounds like you did say whatever. If you're saying this, like, well, I didn't want to break up, and 40 women come forward and say he's cheating and he's not denying it or he's, not addressing it. So you were sort of okay with it, or at least you were, and then you're making videos to pretend like everything's fine. You do have some role in this, for sure. She does.
Now, because we've been doing this for almost 10 years. We've been doing this for so long. And it was just me trying to just like navigate that with myself. Like, I didn't want to make these big impulsive decisions publicly.
Because God told me in the car. Yeah.
And I think that's totally fair. I think like I get why people would start to be like, hello, like, do you know, like, what are you doing? Like, say something or leave or say I'm staying with him, even though I think
there was moments where I'm like, I'm going to leave tomorrow. Like, I'm going to do this tomorrow. And I'm just not going to look back, and I'm just going to go and I'm going to find a place. And, we won't film and people are going to wonder what happened to us. That, like, I had those moments. Yeah, I had those moments.
Yeah. And I just didn't do it because I looked at my bank account. And I was like, no, I can do a couple more days, a couple more months, a year maybe.
But I think what was the hardest part about all of it was that he would never admit to it. And I thought, well, if you're not admitting it to me, you're not going to admit it to the world.
Right.
So that was the hardest part.
Right. It's almost like you were in this like gaslighted situation where this person is telling you it's not happening. And even though in your heart you know it's happening, you also are presenting as united front to the world. And it's like, am I going to say it? And then he's going to deny it, even though the whole world knows it. And I'm pregnant and I don't want to leave and I have kids. Like,
I think if he denied it, people would still believe her that it was happening. If 20 women come forward and she said she left and said, yeah, he was cheating, I don't think everyone's gonna be like, well, did Austin admit it? Because I won't believe until then. I think, again, she was keeping it together for the sake of the dollars.
Like, it's such a complicated situation. And I get with social media, people just judge on the surface. I've done it. You know what I mean?
Another thing too, Alex, is another big thing that I had in the forefront of my mind. And now I look back and think like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have been thinking like that. But I felt like if I broke the family, I'm thinking like I'm needing to break the family for this, then I'm going to break everyone's heart. I'm going to break millions and millions of people who watch us and who sees us as this power couple. And I'm going to break everyone's heart because this isn't real. This isn't true. This isn't what people think it is anymore. And I also didn't want people to bash him because I'm like, as much as he hurt me, as much as I feel like I got stabbed in the back, like, I can handle.
He was a D1 basketball player. He doesn't deserve ridicule. I don't even know what to say. It's so bizarre to record your birth and to put it on YouTube. And I believe she wanted to do that 100%. I have no doubt that she actively wanted to do that. But she presented that idea as, I wanted it to be personal, but I didn't want to let down the fans who are following and waiting for my birth to be publicized. I didn't want to divorce my husband who's cheating on me publicly because of the fans. Again, I think that just the fans is money. The fans are dollars, and you don't want to disappoint the dollars. Again, I've repeated myself 100 times, but there's no other explanation for that.
Handle that. But like, can you handle the scrutiny and the all this? It's like, and clearly not, because my book didn't even come out yet. And he, but for a long time, that was a huge part of why I didn't want to speak up, because I don't want the father of my children to get this like public humiliation. But then over the years, I thought, well, he already got it. I need to do what's best for me. Yeah. I can't keep living in a lie. I can't not address the big elephant in the room.
I also will just say,
I think the only reason she is doing it now is because there's money tied to it. She waited until there's a book deal, and now she's telling all. She wasn't going to say it on Twitter. There's no money to be made there on that tweet, So that's why she held on to it until she secured the bag once again.
And I'm sure so many people watching right now are feeling this. Like, I have so much respect for you, even trying to protect him, because I think a lot of people understandably would be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. And the fact that you, again,
as the Bible says, fuck that,
chose to put your family first and not yourself first, and you really looked at the big picture. Like, I think a lot of women, and especially mothers, will be able to be like, I think I would do the same thing.
Yeah. Hell the fuck no. I'm sorry to say. I hope that's not the commonality of women. God, they make women sound like such idiots sometimes. Like, I think mamas out there would understand your predicament and know that you have to post vlogs and everyone will understand. It's like, no, I don't agree. I think this is horrible. Don't keep doing this. I am a woman. I don't think this is good. They're like, all women would totally have your back. I'm like, I do not. Don't count me in that.
Yeah.
You talk about a breaking point, because I think at some point we're all like, the cheating. And when did you know this marriage was completely over, and how did you go about telling him?
There was a conversation that we had right before he had this big boxing match.
Mm-hmm.
He was it was like our event, and then he was like the main person on the card. And the night before, I felt like something was about to happen. I don't know. It was like this like intuition feeling like in my gut. I'm like,
the only knowing she has is gut knowing and thought knowing. She has no reality knowing. She's talked several times about having like downloads from like a voice, like, you're going to marry this man, have your baby, name him Steele. Like, she gets a lot of voices in her head, but then voices in real life talking to her, she's like, la, 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 la. Don't hear it. It's interesting.
I don't know. Something feels really strange about tomorrow. Like, the fight was going to be the next day. And we were in the living room and, the lights were down, the kids were sleeping. And I said, I'm not happy. And he's like,
what?
Why are you talking about this now? Why are you doing this now? I have a fight tomorrow. Like, can't you just be a little bit more sympathetic to, And I was like, but I had to say it right now.
It is kind of weird. You wait for that moment. It's like been going on for 10 years. It's like, it's not really nice what you're doing. Like, okay, now you care? I got the SATs in the morning.
I'm really not happy. Like, I genuinely don't feel good, Austin. Yeah. Like, something doesn't feel right.
Something.
And, we could have had this conversation after and this and that. And then the next day, he got really sick right before his fight. He had 103 fever. He was really sick. It felt like a message. It didn't feel like he just randomly got sick. No one else got sick but Austin.
Okay.
And I walked into, they were staying at an Airbnb. It was like the whole team, everybody for the fight. And they were getting ready to get in the sprinter van or the bus. And I came in, had hair and makeup done. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? He's like, come into the room. He's like, feel my forehead. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, he's like, I have 103 fever. It just came a couple hours ago. I don't know. And I'm like, well, what are you going to do? I was like, you can't fight. He's like, no, I have to. Like, I can't not. And mind you, we just had this conversation about yesterday, like this gut feeling, like something doesn't feel right. And like, I feel like what happened that night in the fight was very, it was like a mirror of what's going on in our internal life.
Can you explain just if people didn't see the fight?
Yeah. So basically, he got really sick.
Mm-hmm.
I went out into the floor, we're all watching them on the ring. And the first time he got knocked down, I thought, oh my God, this is the first time I've ever seen my husband crumble. And my heart stopped. And I wanted to scream and cry and yell. And just, I hated that moment.
I'm so confused. I feel like the thread is not threading for me with this. Like now we're back to the vibe of the beginning where he's so talented and he fought and he had a fever and he had a tummy ache and I was so scared to see him. Like, weren't you saying last night, like, stop cheating on me? Why are you cheating on me? And he's like, don't talk to me about this right now. And now the next day she's totally fine. I'm like getting like whiplash. Well, I don't understand these mood swings.
And then there was a voice, and then he got knocked down. It was the second one, and then a third, and then a fourth, and then a fifth, and he just kept standing up. And I kept thinking, oh my gosh, this is who he is. He always stands up when he falls. And I heard this voice, and it was like, it's okay. He's having an ego death. He has to go through this. Hold space for him. Everything's gonna be okay. And we left the ring. We got in the ambulance.
Ambulance?
He was completely disoriented. He just kept saying the words, I need water. And I was like yelling at the paramedics, please get him water. He's thirsty. He needs water. And they were like, no, it's against protocol. We can't give him water. We have to wait to get him into the hospital and check in and this and that. And so that happened. And then the next day he was feeling better. And I grabbed his hand and I posted a picture of us holding hands. And I was...
Here's the truth. She's like, we can record the ambulance. That sirens in a vlog, put in the thumbnail, this is going to be gold. Again, this is where I think her true mind is at all times. She's like, he's a prop. He's a bad prop. He's a poison prop. But she'll make it work as a prop until it can't anymore. And I think that's what she's doing. I don't think she actually loves this person, honestly, or ever has. I think they both see each other as a means to an end.
So ready to let go the day before. And I was like telling the world, I'm still here for him. And it was like...
For the money, I'm assuming.
This moment of like, yes, we are not romantically together in that way, but I still respect him as a father of my children.
Why? Why would you? How does he have time to have 20 girlfriends? He cannot be a present father.
Mm-hmm. And no matter what, I will always stand by his side. And it was like that kind of energy. So then it was almost like I was okay being in the relationship as a family, as like, I'm here, we're a team. Mm-hmm. But it was like we were not a team. Mm-hmm. You were still lying to me.
But I think that's where he's saying you were okay with it. It was out there in the open and you didn't leave and you're posting pictures of us holding hands in the hospital. Like, you know, again, he's wrong, but she's also, I think what he said is correct, probably, is what his understanding of it was. At some point, she was okay with it.
When did you tell him you wanted a divorce?
So we had talked about it a couple times. I never said the words, I want a divorce. I never said those words ever out loud. We had the last conversation we'd had on separating. We actually talked about him, you know, getting another home, and I was getting another home because we were actually planning on leaving the rental we were at. And you know when you have like really deep conversations about making plans and then they just don't fall through? So it's kind of like that kind of thing.
They don't fall through?
And then the stress of like life and all the things that it brings, you know? So that wasn't like, we weren't we weren't trying to get that done quickly, you know? Because usually when it comes to an end, you want to get it done, right? But we hadn't reached that moment of like, it's an urgency, we need to do it right now. When I had that realization that it has to happen right now, I have to stop waiting for the right time, because there's never going to be a right time. The moment is now. And I had that realization when it was on my 33rd birthday. So this is really interesting. My whole life, like ever since I was a kid, I always said 33 is going to be the biggest year of my life. And I would say that just like jokingly in my mind. And I thought 33 is going to be the biggest year of my life. And then I turned 33 and
it was the biggest year of my life.
I was talking to my dad and I was like, hey, I really want to go to this retreat in Brazil. And he was like, I want to go with you. And I was like, perfect.
More confirmation that spiritual, new age, mumbo jumbo only is possible. It becomes unlocked when you become rich. That's everyone either is coming from, I think, a trust fund style upbringing, or they reach a pinnacle and then they become, I heard voices and I'm going to Brazil for a retreat and then we're going to do a sound bath. It's like the only people who live in delusion can actually believe in it wholeheartedly, I think.
Like me, you, and Ryan will go to this retreat, you know, and I booked my flight on my birthday. Okay. And in that moment, you know, Austin and I, it was done. We just didn't we didn't put the wheels in motion to officially divorce and separate, but it was there. And
like
it was
you
clear.
knew you were separated.
We were separated, for sure, because it was so obvious. It was like, it was in the air. It was like, we hardly saw each other. We stopped filming.
So there was no like big moment that you were both like, we're done. Let's go our separate ways?
Well, there was, because I went on the retreat. And then when I came back, I had this massive, expansive experience. And I got back. I landed back into LA. He picked me up. I got in the car and he looked over. He said, oh, how was it? And I was like, good. And in my head, I'm thinking like he doesn't understand where I just went, what I just did, how, like, he doesn't understand. And I thought, that's okay. We're different places vibrationally now. And I was like, if I'm going to say it, I'm going to say it right now. I got in the car, I closed the door. How was it? We're literally driving out of the airport. And I said, Austin, I need to talk to you. It's like, hey, yeah, what's up? I was like,
yeah, what's up?
It's not a secret that our relationship is done and we're both unhappy. You know, I've been unhappy for a long time. I know you've been unhappy for a long time, and I want a divorce. And he's driving. Okay. It's like, okay. I was like, oh my gosh. All right. Well, I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. This is so amazing. Divorce. Yeah. Yay. Oh, is that easy? Oh my God.
This is so good.
Divorce?
Jeez, this is so good.
I love it.
I'm so happy. I was like, you know, I'm on your team and I love you and I want to do this right. And, you know, it doesn't have to get ugly. I pray I don't want it to get ugly. And I said,
she is Mother Teresa. She's right. She is. She doesn't even get mad that he didn't even look at her and said, okay. She's so thrilled. I don't buy it. I don't buy it either. You have a right to be angry. and a right to feel dismissed and a right to be upset. It's not like more pure or better to be like, he disrespected me and I just said, yay, awesome. I don't know.
And I said these words. I said, let's discuss an exit plan together as a team. Like, let's do it together. He goes, yeah, we could talk about it, you know? And I was like, he goes, it's funny because my realtor the other day sent me a house that's for rent down the street from where we're living now. And I thought, oh, okay, cool. He's like, yeah, it's interesting how life works. And I was like, yeah. I was like, have you seen the house? He's like, oh, I'm going to see it next week. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then it was just kind of like, okay, like, we're going to do this.
Why did you guys never make a video to kind of like talk about your separation? Because that was kind of like your guys' thing.
Well,
yeah.
I didn't want to make a video because if he wasn't telling me the truth without the cameras rolling, he's for sure not going to tell the truth with the cameras rolling. So I thought, well, I'm not going to do a video with you side by side if you can't say I cheated on my wife and, you know, it led us to this path where we both have made mistakes. I would share my mistakes, you know, like.
What mistakes did she make? Letting him cheat?
I didn't have good communication, you know, I wasn't there for him maybe when he needed me emotionally, you know, and all of these things. And I thought, he can't be honest, so I'm not doing the video.
And then he came out and said that you didn't want him to make his own video.
I just don't buy that I think this is an act. I really do. I agree from the people in the chat that are saying that she thinks, think it's an act as well. I think the whole Pollyanna, it doesn't vibe with the mogul mindset that she has and the coyness about how much money they were making. I don't buy it. Like, oh yeah, I just want to be a team. I just want to, like, there's got to be more motivation behind why you're doing things and why she pretended for so long. I don't think she's being honest publicly. And I don't think she ever will, to be honest.
Explaining the breakup from his point of view. And I guess that kind of answers it because you're like, well, you're not going to tell the fucking truth.
He didn't tell the truth. He said that there's things that I regret, but it's like that could be anything.
Right.
And then not to mention, so this is the thing about that. And I'm just going to be completely bluntly honest because at this point, just my throat chakra is open and I'm just going to be me.
Let's go.
Soundbite.
When we discussed the divorce, I said I'd really like to do a joint like statement.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, a lot of people sometimes they do statements. It's just easier, you know. And he's like, oh no, I want to make a video. And I said, well, I don't want to be in your video, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna make a statement. He goes, oh well, give me a chance to make a video and I'll show it to you, and then you could tell me if you like it. Mm-hmm. And if you like it, then I'll post it. And I thought, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm actually curious to see what's in that video. Right? I was really curious. So I'm like,
I'm shocked. She's never given anyone the benefit of the doubt, especially him, before.
Make the video. So it took a month for him to actually make it.
Okay.
And I'm like,
She's
okay,
yawning,
here we go.
I get to see it. Oh my gosh, like I'm so curious what he said. And I was in the room, in the office room, and I was watching it, and just blunt, like honest to God, was watching the video, and I thought, this is like social suicide. Like, I genuinely feel like this is going to make him look so bad. And I love Austin no matter what. And I care about him, truly. So I'm thinking if he couldn't at least say the truth, because people love truth.
Yeah.
People love when people are honest and vulnerable. Mm-hmm. And
it's interesting that she's aware of that. And she's not, in my opinion, doing those things.
He wasn't doing that. It was like he was going around the truth. And I looked at him, I said, I don't like the video. I was like, if you post that, go ahead. But if you post that, it doesn't look, I'm just going to be honest. Because at that point, it's like, I want to help you too. I want you to move on in your life too. I don't want you to have this energy around you.
Right, but people are going to call you out and be like, you're lying. Like, this is a big fat lie. Like, we know you're skirting around the actual thing.
Yeah. So then I said, I don't like it. So he recorded me saying that.
Why do you think he recorded you?
I mean, I'm just finding this out, by the way.
Because you didn't know he was filming.
No, I think it was because he thought, well, this is what I think. I think he was never planning on posting the video. I think he made it. So, and again, I don't know, right? Yeah. This is just my speculation.
Yeah.
I think he made it knowing he wasn't going to post it, but made it so that, because he knew I wouldn't like it. because he knows me. He knows me. He's been living with me. He's married to me for years. I'm the mother of his children.
Right.
And I think he recorded me almost purposely to get those words out of me so that maybe later in the future, if he ever needed it. Wow. And he got it in 24 hours. He had it there in his phone. It was almost like ready to go. And when I saw that, I thought, oh my gosh, can other people see this? Or am I the only one who sees, like...
That's crazy that he's like secretly recording
manipulative. It's manipulative.
Because she said, I don't think this video is good. What benefit would that give him to record that of her in court? Who cares if she doesn't like the video? I don't understand this story.
Manipulative.
And it's illegal.
Well, that's what I was told too. And I thought, well, I don't want to go that route because, I mean...
Shocking. I'm shocked that you didn't want to have a confrontation.
We were filming each other and doing pranks and things throughout the day. And then he would say, well, we used to film each other. And then the fans would say, well, you guys were always filming each other. And I thought, oh my gosh, my book just come out? Because I'm like, I just want to move on, truly.
One of the biggest conversations.
I don't know about that. I don't know if you want to move on for real.
Online right now is around your ayahuasca use. When did you start taking it?
In that really dark period of my life, my marriage was going downhill. I lost my house. My business partners scammed me. Many, many things were happening in our internal lives, our family, our friends, all the things. I just had a baby. I was really in a really dark place.
Time for drugs. That will solve it.
And my brother had been doing this very sacred medicine work for many years. Mm-hmm. And he would tell me all the time, Catherine, one day, like, when you're ready, I'll be here for you. And it's a solo journey. All it took was one night of ceremony. And I had a full Kundalini awakening. I remembered everything. It completely changed my life. So it's a very powerful tool.
I think a lot of...
She remembered everything?
Buzzing with joy.
That was her.
The conversation online, because of what Austin kind of said on his Snapchat rant, is... about your kids and wanting to know, have your kids ever been in the home while you're hosting at-home ceremonies?
No, absolutely not. That was a lie. I think that because he knows how sacred and how
she's doing them in the house. She's doing ayahuasca at her house. Is that legal? It can't be legal.
How much has impacted my life. I think that was the one, that jab that like, I know that means a lot to her. So I'm going to say this, and maybe a couple of years ago would have been more hurtful. Now it's more like, but no, that's not true. I think that people will throw stones at things they don't understand. And I think that's what happened with Austin.
Has anyone ever expressed concern to you over using ayahuasca?
No, never.
No.
Have you
ever? No one has ever. There's 20 videos about it, but I'd never watch.
Austin ever done it together?
No.
Okay, can you please explain Austin's allegation that you, quote, turned him into a mermaid?
Oh my God, I love this one.
Wait, what?
Okay, can you please explain Austin's allegation that you, quote, turned him into a mermaid?
Oh my God, I love this one.
I literally can't believe that just came out of my mouth. I'm like, is that a thing? Okay, tell me.
So a couple of years ago, we were always making content. Like Austin has dressed up so many times as an older woman, as just funny skits and stuff. So there was, when I started my skincare line, I wanted to do a fun mermaid photo shoot. And I thought like, oh my God, this is so cool because I'm making a sunscreen, and it took me a couple of years to get here, and I want to do something really fun and exciting. And so we went to Hawaii, and there was this girl that I reached out to that wears she wears like fins, and she's like, oh, I have so many, like we'll do the campaign around the mermaid idea. And I thought that was so cool. So I think that's what he's talking about.
But you don't think you're a mermaid?
No, I mean, I think that I'm connected to the mystics and the just these different starseed systems, and I'm just very connected. And I think that I like to live authentically, and I like...
Not the starseeds. She's a starseed mermaid. Okay, we're gonna watch his response Snapchat rant to see his perspective, but I'm getting a picture now. I'm getting a picture that she thinks she's from a different planet, that she is Mother Mary reincarnated. I now believe him more than I did before. I was like, oh, he's just trying to insult her. But now that she's saying these things, I'm like, oh, you're one of those. It's not my fault that I came from a different planet and I have better DNA and that I'm connected to my ancestry and I'm so woo-woo.
I'm a medium. I channel all day.
I'm a big time hippie and I'm very woo-woo.
These people are con artists.
Okay.
Like to share like my journey, you know, and I'm very connected to these things. But I think when people were just making fun of it and he thought, oh, I'm going to use this and just extra paint her look crazy, you know? And it's like, I think for me, it's just funny now, you know? I think maybe a couple of years ago, I would have been like, oh my gosh, I hate that he said that, but I don't care.
Oh my
There has been a
gosh.
lot of speculation online.
Yeah, there's more to that. I think she is much more thinking that she is a deity than she's letting on. She's playing coy, but I feel like the vibe is, yeah, she's telling people privately, like, I'm better than everyone. Like, I'm a goddess for sure. Like, actually from, like, the heavens.
As I was sitting in the cold plunge,
oh, why does the sky look like a grid?
That's what she says.
About an overlap between your marriage with Austin and your relationship with your new partner, Igor. What was the timeline there?
So I met him on my Brazil retreat. Met in the middle of the Amazon. You know, I'm very honest just with my journey. Like, I think for a long time, I was afraid of sharing timelines because I was so in the limelight and on the camera all the time. And it's like the timeline started to kind of scare me a little. Now I own them. Yeah. It's okay. Like,
that doesn't look
it
like
was
her.
over between us. And it had been many years of us just not having this emotional, intimate marriage that I thought we were going to have. And I'm going to be honest with you. Right before I went on that trip, like the months leading up to that trip, I kept thinking I have so much baggage. When we divorced, because I felt it coming, when we officially divorced, nobody's gonna want me. I have 3 kids. Like,
She felt it coming. I thought you were the one who said you wanted a divorce as soon as you got back from the retreat with this guy that you just met. What are you talking? You just said this story 2 seconds ago. I didn't know it was coming. Didn't you initiate it?
Like, I'm, you know,
she's becoming more relevant to this channel than I ever anticipated. So maybe we'll have to do another deeper dive into her and her boo thing, because they look right up the spiritual alley
in this space, and people are gonna just see me as, you know,
they're gonna be doing retreats any day now. YouTube retreats for ayahuasca, wellness, yoga, light language.
The Ace family mom, you know, or whatever. And I thought, you know, who's gonna take me seriously? And I don't want to date. I'm not a dating type of person, you know. And I thought, you know, I'm just gonna be alone forever. And I thought, you know, I'm okay. It's okay. Like, I don't need anyone. I feel complete and whole in myself. And I remember saying that to myself. And in that retreat, you know,
this is like a Rachel Hollis level of denial. Like, it sounds like you got divorced once you met another guy to replace the first guy. There's nothing wrong with that necessarily, but it's like, doesn't sound like I'm just gonna be single forever. It's like you were single for 0 seconds, actually.
I was there for 10 days, and it was 4 days of the practice. Mm-hmm. And on the 3rd day, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I don't have as much baggage as I thought I did. I think it was all in my head. I really started to sit with myself. And yeah.
That's not the conclusion that I would have come to. Okay.
I met him in that experience. It was a friendship. It was like never imagined that anything would ever go further, ever in a million years. Like, if you would have told me like a year ago, or a couple of years ago, that I was going to meet someone, I thought, me meeting somebody who? What does he look like? What does he do? Like, how do you speak?
Right.
Me, multi-millionaire, very attractive. Who would ever want me? It's like, come on. Me? You spend a lot of money and time making yourself look good, which is great. Wonderful. Come on, there's a reason for that. You're gonna meet, you're attractive. The keyword there, attract. People are going to be attracted. Okay, whatever.
And I've never felt so safe in my entire life. And
okay, she met Austin and got pregnant within 2 months. So she met this guy. I don't know how long ago this all was, but the bar is low in comparison to your last relationship.
I feel like I earned it because I spent so many years just being there and just like, just feeling empty and just, but I really had to pour into myself. I really had to do that.
How do Austin and Igor feel about each other?
I can't speak for Austin because I don't know. I think like what he's done publicly to kind of just like he got him a shirt on Christmas that says something about stepfather or something. And I thought, okay, is he doing this for the Snapchat, or is he doing this because he actually thinks he's stepfather worthy? Yeah. You know?
The Snapchat. Have you met? Duh. Answer your question.
Austin's new
Yeah, I met her. Yeah. Okay. I met her about a year ago, I think. Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I like her. I think honestly, I feel like my kids are the best, like they're the best judge. You know, when they'll come and give me information. Oh, I don't even ask. Oh, we just did this with Alexa today. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, did you guys have fun? And like, just kind of.
She's not the type that gets jealous. She's not that type of girl. She's not a type of girl that would want her husband to not cheat on her. She's so cool. She's down for whatever. She's not that type of girl. It's like, you can have standards. You can have standards. You can have feelings. Please.
Seeing their like interactions and how they talk about her, so cool. Anybody for that matter, just anyone. I get good vibes, you know? And I think like at the end of the day, it's like, people meet each other where they're at. So that's them. That is their journey. And I don't judge. I don't have any judgment towards that.
Okay, last question. If you could just kind of give like a final statement to the Ace family who's watching and who's been on this journey since your first place where you lived with Austin and when you were pregnant and all the things, and they've been here for so long and they felt maybe like we've lost them and things have changed and everything, which
seek help immediately. If your life has been affected by their life falling apart, you should seek help right now. That's the message.
Change is good. Like, what do you want to leave a lasting message with them today?
I would say forgiveness is key. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on and talking about this, because
forgiveness is key. That's the takeaway. Forgiveness is key. What? I'm confoozled.
No, there's so much behind all this, and that's why I'm happy I got to sit down with you today. And like I had said earlier, like
all right, I'm over it. Okay, let's hear the other side. The cheater McCheaterson, Austin McBroom. Okay, this is his response. Snapchat's his preferred platform. Let's hear from him. What's he got to say? He's going to refute what she has said, I guess. All right, let's go.
I had another girl there, and I was cheating on her with.
And counts. I just want the raw, the real. Austin McBroom. I just want the Snapchats edited together. That's it. I don't need a commentary. I got enough commentary in my brain.
Hey guys.
This is what I want. Thank you. Thank you. Shout out Afterpay Ashley. You've given me what I want, what I deserve. Okay.
I never expected to be here today to talk to you guys what I'm about to get ready to talk to you guys about.
Not you guys.
I never wanted to talk about this. For many reasons. I think the biggest reason is to protect the most important people in my life, which is the mother of my kids and my kids. But I have been left with no choice.
Where is it?
I'm feeling all type of emotions right now. I'm sad. I'm mad. I feel that I've been blindsided. blindsided because...
Interesting fade. Interesting hairline fade you got going on there. He's putting the broom in McBroom with that hair a little bit. Okay, sorry.
As you guys know, and what you guys have seen for the past year and a half, Catherine and I have the best co-parenting situation that any parent can ever ask for. We actually have a better relationship now than we did when we were married. I look at Catherine as a best friend, someone that I talk to every day, not just about our kids, but about life. She called me last week about her boyfriend, how he had a homeless guy sleeping in his car. I was just over her house bringing the kids pizza.
I guess I believe that, because if he's a spiritual guru, he's probably like, vibes, yeah, come in my car. We talk every day. It's like, you didn't talk when you were married. It sounded like you didn't speak at all about anything.
Not just the kids, but her and her boyfriend pizza. We were all sitting in her living room eating the pizza, laughing and smiling. And then the next morning is when the snippet of her book comes out, and it talks about how I'm a terrible person and how I was a terrible husband. Not once.
Both can be true, dude. You could be a terrible husband and also have pizza with the new boyfriend. I don't think those are mutually exclusive.
Did she ever come to me and talk to me about this book? Yes, I was aware she was writing this book for the past however long, and I actually congratulated her.
He actually congratulated her. Okay, yeah. Let's zoom in. Let's tune into this soul patch.
When I first found out she was writing a book, because obviously I had no idea what the book was about, I just was very proud of her that she was doing something new and something for herself. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Catherine recently just released a snippet of her book that she wrote alongside a professional author that helped her write this book. And
ghostwriter.
The book was manipulated, and she did not tell the full truth, which is why I'm here today to tell you guys the full truth and to tell you guys what really happened. I don't know about you guys, but I find it very odd that the first chapter of her book is about me and not about anything about her. It's about me and how I was a terrible person and a terrible husband, when this book is supposed to be an autobiography about her life. It could have been about anything else. She talks about her family in the book. She talks about ayahuasca. She talks about her new guy. But she wanted to use me in this snippet to reel everybody in for clickbait and to monetize from the book. Usually when someone writes an autobiography about their life, it starts with, hey, my name is. Not Dolores. That's definitely not how she started.
Dolores?
And that's why I feel like it was a setup. Reason why I say a setup is because
who's Dolores?
When we went through our separation and we decided to announce it to the world, her and I were trying to figure out what was the best way of doing it. I felt the best way of doing it was coming out with a YouTube video together. Her and
So Catherine's real name is Dolores, and also, what else did he say? I was distracted by my drawing. I feel like he said something that was irrelevant.
The world. Her and I were trying to figure out what was the best way of doing it. I felt the best way of doing it was coming out with a YouTube.
Oh, most people start their autobiography by saying, hi, my name is. Not the good ones, actually. Not the good ones. And also, okay, you didn't agree with the way she wrote the book. Who gives a shit? Okay, this is a weak response video thus far.
Video together, her and I side by side. And I even told her that, hey, I'll do all the talking. I'll take full accountability for my actions and all the mistakes that I've made. I said, you don't have to say anything if you don't want. Even though you've made mistakes and I've made mistakes, I'll go ahead and take all the blame. She didn't want to do that. So it left me with no choice but to make my own video. I decided to make my own YouTube video, and in that video, I basically exposed myself. And it's crazy because I still have that video today, which I'm going to show you guys right now. Here's the video. The video is over 30 minutes long, so obviously I'm not going to share the whole video, but I'm just going to share a short snippet to show you guys that.
This is meta. This is Inception video responses. Me witnessing him witnessing his other video being played, and then someone should take this video and then, you know, critique my response, and then we can keep it going forever.
I did make this video. It caused me to seek it elsewhere. It caused me to make bad decisions. I admit, I failed as a husband. So, as you guys can see, it was 30 minutes of the video of me just exposing myself. And I obviously shared that video with her to get her approval before posting it. And long story short, she didn't want me to post it. And this is what she had to say about it. I also want you guys to know that I'm going to have receipts throughout this entire video. And the reason why I have some of these receipts is because I knew that one day...
I don't know what is going on with this audio. I'm sorry, that's clipping in and out. It's very weird.
There was a possibility of something like this happening. And you guys have seen it time and time and again where couples break up and there's always some sort of exposing. And so I just wanted to be able to have my own truth just in case something like this happened. And this is why I have certain recordings.
I love people when they say my truth. Whenever someone says this is my truth, it always means it's not the truth.
So as you can see the date on here, I filmed that video on June 12th, which was a week before we announced our separation on Instagram. Here is a recording which was on January 13th, which was the day after I filmed this video. And this was her response.
He's got the what would Jesus do bracelet, so he's all good now. We can forgive him.
On why she felt I shouldn't post the video. Sometimes okay?
Yes.
Okay, but I don't have to worry.
I'm gonna slow it down. Cause now we got receipts.
About like you like saying something like after and stuff. So I'm basically asking her like, what is okay for me to say? She showed me her statement that she had, and I was like, okay, well, I had no say in that. You're doing what you want to do. Am I allowed to do what I want to do?
No, you just say
I'm just
you weren't happy.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Like say what you said in your video. I just think the video would have been.
As you can hear, I'm ignoring my child at this part. My child needs me. I'm ignoring him. That's part of the recording as well.
You would have had a lot of backlash. I think this way is much more
Her voice sounds completely different also.
organic.
This is a horrible recording, dude. Could you get your kid out of the room maybe before you recorded this like expose audio? I can't hear a thing. I heard daddy, please. That's all I heard.
So as you heard what she said
I did not hear.
that if I was going to release this video, I would get a lot of backlash, as if she cared about me getting backlash.
Mm-hmm. That's what she said too.
What is happening now? You would expect her to be okay with back then when we were separating at that time to be okay.
Because she was going to make money on the book deal, but it has to be juicy. Duh.
Okay with me getting backlash or her saying what she needed to say back then. But a year and a half later, you didn't want me to put this video out because you didn't want me to get backlash.
No, because she wanted to be the one to make the money. Come on, dude. Get with the picture.
Then what's happening now? Why now? So again, I felt set up because she didn't want me to expose myself back then when we were going through a separation a year and a half ago.
That's what a tell-all is all about.
She wanted to expose me and save it for her book when her book came to receive monetary value.
Duh!
So here she continues.
And you wanted to get monetary value from your video.
To talk about how she doesn't feel handcuffed anymore and how she is able to move on with her life because she was able to put out the statement that she wanted to put out. She wanted to tell her that was her side of the story. And now I'm...
Listen, that's one thing that you get if you get cheated on by 20 women, or your husband's with 20 other women. I think you should be allowed to make a statement however you like. That seems like a fair trade-off.
Basically just asking her if it's okay for me to tell how I feel in my side of the story. And this is what she proceeds to say.
Can't wait.
Okay, it's good. That's good.
Because now I'm finally.
So I'm saying, okay, but I'm saying I'm glad you're saying that.
But I do.
So you don't have to keep reverting back to.
But I do agree. What you're saying is that you don't want to feel like you're being attacked in any way, or like I'm.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep worried about you,
I don't want you.
Because my concern was that is she gonna keep bringing me up time and time again for however long? So I'm asking her, hey, if you're gonna continue to do this, then I'm gonna have to do it as well.
I feel like that because I don't want you to worry about that because that's not the case.
Okay, as long as you're saying.
I want you to know that that's not the case.
I know, but again.
I'm not here.
But again.
Because if that was the case, if you really truly think about it, that would have happened years ago. If that was really my way, my.
Yeah, but you know how people are over after breakups. It's like, no, I'm not saying you. I'm saying in general, right? Would you agree that women are like,
sure, they keep fucked up.
Yeah, they keep fucking be playing the victim. Like,
I fucking can't
oh my God, that's what I'm saying.
She curses? She says the F word in front of the children? Oh my gosh. I'm horrified.
She said that I can't stand that shit when women expose their man after they break up. They're fucking weird. That's literally what she said.
I mean, she really did not expose you. And maybe that's why she's going this route of like, he was so great. I loved him and he was so cool. Like, she's proving the point. I'm not disparaging him. I think out of all the women he could have gotten with, she's like the least disparaging of all.
And that's literally what she's doing now. Okay, so now let's get into the book.
Barely.
She talks about a specific event and a moment in that event to basically define my character and to show that that is proof that I had another girl there that I was supposedly talking to and I was cheating on her with.
Supposedly. Not the supposedly. Okay, let's go back to quick. I ain't got all day.
When that is not true at all. Think about this. Why would I invite another girl there when this whole event is about my family?
I do wonder that. That is a good thing to ponder.
And this event is about me and Catherine's bond. Why would I want that girl to see that? Me hugging and kissing and grabbing my wife's ass.
Interesting outfits.
You guys didn't want to show these clips.
They are both in on it.
Me holding my wife's hand.
Doesn't even look like her. She looks different in every picture I see.
I just want to bring up a clip where it was 5 seconds of a video of me giving my speech, and then when I gave Catherine to Mike to tell her speech, I step away for a second to catch my breath because I just got done playing in an hour-long basketball game, and I wanted to catch my breath, and I wanted to wipe the sweat off of my forehead, and then I get right back next to her. She wants to use that specific moment out of all the 10 years we've ever been through anything to define me as a terrible person and a terrible husband. I'll show you the clip just in case you guys didn't see it.
Okay, let's watch. I'll slow it down again. I feel like he's playing semantics here. It's like, well, there was other instances she could have brought up and she brought up this one. Weird. It's like, okay, I guess.
It's all over TikTok. But just so if you can see it for yourself.
They're both guilty of being fake, but he's guilty of cheating, and that's worse.
In this clip, it shows you that when I grab the mic to give my speech, my arm is completely around her the entire time.
Okay,
but you guys want to clip the part where I take a step away. My arm is completely around her the whole time I'm talking. But she says that she feels unseen. So then,
Baby, you want to say something?
I give her the mic and I step away for a second, catch my breath and wipe the sweat off my face.
We have the strongest family in the world. The strongest.
Now, see, that's her bad. He's horrible. Again, this is a bad response video. I feel like he's a villain and a monster. But she's also not a good person by lying like this. We are the strongest family, the best family in the world. What a weird thing to say also.
And I'm still right there next to her. It's very unfortunate and sad because now she turned one of our
Yeah, he's definitely a narcissist. That's like, people will see the truth. It's like, no, you're missing the point, dude.
biggest moments as a family and the brand into a mockery.
Oh, no. No. It was a mockery before she wrote the book, for sure.
When that was so special to both of us, and it happened because of both of us. Now let's get into the cheating. When it comes to me stepping out of my marriage, I did. I 100% stepped out of my marriage. It was completely wrong for me to do it. I take full accountability.
But, here's a but. He takes full accountability. Whenever someone crosses their chest like this with their hand and they're taking full responsibility, full accountability, they're not healed. I don't know. It's a weird gesture.
If I can go back and change it, I would. And I'm sorry for that.
I doubt it. But
I truly am.
he truly is, yeah. I believe him. But get a tear. Push a tear. Push a tear.
But when it comes to her acting like she had no idea what was going on, that is a complete lie.
I mean, I kind of do think he's probably telling the truth here as well. But also, just because she was allowing it to happen does not make it right either. Just because she wasn't saying anything and she was letting the wealth cloud her self-esteem does not mean that it was okay or that he should be crying about this. Anyways.
Catherine knew what I was dealing with for a very long time. I would come to her and I would voice how I feel about how I felt like I was getting no affection from her. There was a year period where we had no sex, and I would vent to her.
Oh my God, not a year.
Telling her
She gave birth to 17 children. Ugh, poor baby. He needed to have 20 girlfriends. I understand him now.
I needed.
Shut up. Oh my God.
Her exact words verbatim, all my kids. She said, just don't make me look dumb. Don't embarrass me.
I agree. That makes sense that she would say that.
I don't know what that means to you guys, but to me it sounds like, go do whatever you need to do because I'm not capable of giving you what you need.
Yeah, okay, yes. But then you got so messy with it and had these girls doing, reveal expose videos and coming out to media outlets and saying, yeah, I'm cheating, with him. That's the problem. You did make her look stupid. That was on you. You should have prevented that. Had one, not a bunch, and been so flagrant about it. That's the issue.
So Catherine tells you guys that back in 2018, 2019, I basically ruined her life because I stepped out of our marriage and she had no idea, when that is not true at all. She knew exactly what I was doing and when I was doing it.
And the thing is too, it's like when she confronted him about the cheating, then she said, just don't be stupid. So he already cheated once at least and then continued to do it. So is that better? No.
So much to where she stayed with me another 5-6 years after that.
Yeah.
She continued to film every YouTube video with me after that.
That is weird.
She even went as far as defending me, defending my name when people would ask her about me stepping out.
That is weird. I agree.
Even
it's for money, though.
To where a few months after that event of her being so hurt that a few months later, she even says, I'm her soulmate.
My soulmate, I know for a fact that it's Austin, and I also believe that my life partner is also Austin, which is really interesting because it has a lot to do with my life, my traumas, and my past, even in my past life.
Not the past life.
It has to do with domino effects in my life, and that's why I was brought to Austin, and that's why we manifested each other, and I really feel like...
Oh, she manifested him? Ugh.
So someone that is so hurt.
In her past life?
And so embarrassed and so unseen. A few months later that this video was recorded, you can go and check it out on our YouTube channel.
Subscribe.
She says that I'm her soulmate and life partner.
Can I change colors?
Someone that is destroyed would never say that. Oops. I wasn't even in that video. That was all on her. I wasn't sitting next to her. She did that on her own. At this point, there was rumors that came out, never pictures or videos, because one thing she said was, just don't embarrass me. So I did what I needed to do in private.
I embarrassed her.
Even though there were still rumors that came out. And when the rumors started coming out, that's when she then really didn't give a fuck. She said many a times in videos, there's a video here where she just doesn't care.
Okay, so nobody knows the truth, the tears, and the yelling. Nobody knows what I went through. We're a fucking team, bro. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm sorry.
Give a shit, she said.
Not sorry, but I'm sorry. Like, I just don't care. What the hell happened? What happened that day? And I'm like, shit, can we share my part? Shit. Yeah. I went through a lot. Behind a king, there's
I think she had a boyfriend too, probably.
always bigger.
Again, she's saying how she just doesn't care, she doesn't give a shit, and she's been through a lot because she knows what she's been through. But we've never shared it. What else could she be talking about that she just doesn't care?
I don't know.
We talked about everything in our lives besides our relationship. And there's a reason for that.
Why?
Up until this point. Regardless of the fact that she knew about it, still does not make what I was doing right. At all.
Good.
But did I have a reason for why I was doing what I was doing? 100%. If I could go back in time and change
That's crazy.
how I handled things, I would try harder
I had a
to
reason.
help her
She
through the
was being a
situation that she was
bitch.
going through. And that's what I thought her spiritual journey was doing. When she first came to me and told me that she wanted to do ayahuasca, for those of you who don't know what ayahuasca is, you can look it up for yourself. The research I've done and the friends that told me about it have said it is a legal substance that can cause someone to hallucinate and have you believe something that is not true. Look it up for yourself.
But the cheating is true. Though.
And so when she first came to me and talked to me about how she wanted to do ayahuasca, in my head, I was 100% against it. Something that I do not believe in. I believe in God. But because I'm such a supporting husband, I wanted to support her as much as I could.
He's such a supporting husband. God, this guy's rich.
And so I let her seek that journey, and that's what she did.
He let her?
Through
Oh,
her
how
ayahuasca
kind.
journey,
How kind of him.
she was telling me how one moment she feels like she's a psychic. The next moment she felt like she was a healer. The next moment she turned me into a mermaid.
That is what the stuff that they say. That is what starseed people say. So I'm on his side on this one, that I think she did say these things.
Being as supportive as I could. She even went as far as telling me that she was the reincarnated Virgin Mary.
They do say stuff like that too, as you know. I believe that she said that. Again, doesn't excuse the cheating.
And that she no longer wanted to have sex with me, and she didn't want to use her body in that way.
I thought they weren't having sex anyways, but okay.
You guys put yourself in my shoes, and if your significant other told you that they were the Virgin Mary and no longer wanted to have sex with you, what would you do? So as she was getting more connected to the spiritual side, we started growing further apart. And it was really sad because our conversations were only about spirituality and couldn't relate. And it got so bad to the point where she was doing it once a month. She became addicted. Usually people do it once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times in their entire life. But she was doing it once a month. And this is where, during this process and her going out, traveling and going on retreats, she found somebody. And I came across their messages, and I didn't know what to make of it.
I came across their messages. Okay, so you were snooping on her phone while you're out there cheating? That's convenient.
Comprehend it. I couldn't understand it. But she told me that they were friends that met through their spiritual journey on one of these retreats. Just friends. Here are the messages that I came across that I didn't know what to think of it.
Wait.
And that's why I took her word and believed her, because I had
He's got receipts for real. Okay, let's see.
no idea what the fuck this meant.
It's just spiritual brain rot. Just wellness brain rot. This is nothing that exciting, actually.
What does that mean?
What is the name on it? Catherine Paiz. Okay.
What type of language is that?
It's a meme, dude.
No idea. But as time was going on,
Have you ever seen a tapestry?
it started to show that this is somebody that she was connecting with. And unfortunately,
Back to my drawing.
when you guys found out, I found out way before then.
You guys found out. Nice. Very nice.
And so we get a divorce, and
We get a divorce, you know. You know
we
how
go
it
our
is.
separate ways.
You know how it be.
Her new partner moves in with her, and the spiritual journey gets worse. I know you guys know before, when she was doing ayahuasca, when I was living with her, she would do it away from me, away from the kids, and outside of the house, where she would go to a professional. I'm sure you heard of Linnell. She's taken pictures with her. She's praised her.
Linnell?
And Linnell was once a family member of ours. And Linnell has been...
Linnell has what? What did Linnell do?
Linnell has been a professional in this field and has been studying this field for damn near 15, 20 years. And when Catherine got her own spot and she was living with her boyfriend, she decided to take Linnell's business away from her clientele, and decided to do the ayahuasca ceremonies and her hosting them at her house, in her home where my kids lay their head.
He's so petty. This is petty semantics. She can do whatever she wants. He's just saying that the kids are in the house sometimes.
And
okay. Not while they're doing it.
It got so bad.
What do you think?
Sorry, I promised myself I wasn't even gonna fucking cry in this video because I'm just angry.
He promised himself.
It got so bad to the point where good friends of hers came to me, and Catherine forced them to do it, just like she forced me many of times, but I turned it down because I didn't believe in it. She forced her friends to do it, and they came to me very concerned because they didn't have a good experience with their ayahuasca journey. And they said, Austin,
he's so serious.
I'm very concerned.
See, didn't I say that? People, when they retell a story that's bullshit, they're always like, they said to me, Austin, my ayahuasca journey sucked. Like, no one would ever speak like that and use your name in that way. Lie detector.
Not only for Catherine, but for your kids, because this is where they sometimes sleep.
They sometimes sleep in the house.
And she has random people that come in and out of her house that she doesn't know, that are all participating in this illegal substance together, that are all hallucinating and having all different types of experiences, that this is not a safe environment.
Okay, but I agree. If the kids were in the house and they were unsupervised, but it sounds like the kids aren't even there when they're doing it. So in that case, it's like, hey, you want to do illegal stuff in your house? I don't really care.
Somehow they found someone in Brazil to help them illegally import this ayahuasca shit. And they've been hosting these ayahuasca ceremonies for the past year at Catherine's house, where my kids lay their head. And after her friends came to me and voiced their concern, I knew I really only had two options.
Kill myself or make a YouTube video?
I get full custody of the kids, or I spend more time with them to protect them.
So I gave
and
up
I
custody.
think you guys know what option I chose.
Which one?
I never, ever
gold.
wanted to do that to her. As you guys know, ever since we got together,
Well, it's big. He doesn't want kids full time, single dad. There's no way. He's got 20
I've
girlfriends.
showed so much love to that woman. And that's something that
A hairline, yeah. Let's do the
I
hairline.
can never do to her, and that I would never do to the kids. But
another but.
when I hear that she is also educating my kids on what ayahuasca is, and that she is telling me that soon they will be able to experience ayahuasca if they want.
18.
And the reason why that is so scary is because
Why, Austin? Why? Why is it so
here
scary?
is a photo
Oh,
of all of them in Catherine's house
it's a big ass house.
experiencing the ayahuasca journey that they had together.
I don't see the kids.
And this boy right here
This boy.
is only 12 years old
Interesting.
doing ayahuasca.
Why don't you call the police? Because if that's true, that is a crime.
Mind you, no one here is a professional.
I mean, if it's I hired a professional crack distributor to come to my house. Like, of course, that's a non-regulated business. It's illegal.
No one here studied ayahuasca for years and years. I don't know if you guys know how dangerous that is, but all it takes is for one bad experience and it changes all of our lives.
True.
Not just Catherine.
I don't think you could die, or most.
Not just mine.
Well, I could be wrong.
But my kids.
I think you can.
And that's something I'll never fuck with. Ever.
So then get custody then if you care that much.
And so I took it in my own hands to have my kids more. Try to spend more time with them.
Oh no, this turn.
And I'm sure you guys seen that. You guys seen that.
You've seen, right?
How hands-on.
You've seen. The public has seen I'm spending time with my kids. Like, what? Why would they see that? Unless you're performatively posting about it.
I am and how much they're with me. And I also believe that everything happens for a reason.
Well,
I was never ever going to address this. I was never ever going to talk about this.
Yeah, because it makes you sound like an asshole and an idiot.
And I most definitely was always going to protect her in her spiritual journey,
Let's go Ronald McDonald.
regardless if I felt
There you go.
my kids were unsafe. All that being said,
Oh, sorry. I'm like in the zone drawing. I'm sorry. I've been ignoring you. I'm sorry, everybody. Absolutely not. Says, we respectfully request a nose ring. Okay. Do you want septum, like bull ring, or just like a little nice little diamond? What are we thinking?
Oh, why does the sky look like a grid?
The mango frequency.
And also?
Wait, what?
There you go. Clown nose, clown nose. Okay.
I believe that everything happens for a reason. And I believe all of this whole situation happened for a reason.
An artist?
Because I was never going to address it. Regardless of me knowing that my kids were in an unsafe environment, I was always going to protect her.
Bullshit. Okay. I like it.
But I really do hope that this video puts a stop to that shit. And as she continues her spiritual journey, I hope that she can figure out how to do it away from the house and away from the kids in a safe environment.
Me too.
And when it comes to the things that she said about me in that book,
All
I'm
lies.
going to repeat this one last time.
And then a million other times.
She manipulated that event, and she did not tell the full truth about me stepping out of our marriage. And now you guys know the full truth
Weak.
and why it happened.
This is weak. This response
Again,
sucks.
I'm gonna repeat.
It's like one time she didn't take in the mail, and it was sitting in the mailbox for a full day. And she didn't take it in. You see why I had to step out of the marriage.
Over and over again.
I'm not to be
that
blamed.
I am completely wrong for doing what I did. I take full accountability. I have grown. I am not that person anymore.
I doubt it.
We're talking 6-7 years ago. And it just saddens me that someone who is at peace and is enlightened and spiritually woke, that they wanted to do here. Knowing that this could affect our kids. Knowing that our dynamic will no longer be the same. I hope you guys understand that it is going to be very difficult for me to be there for her like I was for the past year and a half.
So sad.
Obviously, nothing will change when it comes to me being a father. So again,
but no more pizzas.
You guys can take what you want. But I'm going to continue doing what I want to do.
We know. You never stop doing that, actually.
And this is going to be the last time I talk about everything.
Yeah, right.
Regardless if she wants to continue
we know
to talk about it and continue to write books about me, I'm going to move forward and focus on myself because
I'm crying.
I've done a lot of healing myself. I've grown a lot myself, and I am in a completely new chapter of my life.
Plane.
I appreciate you guys for listening. If you listened all the way through, it does mean a lot. But I'll be back to
because he's been crying all
my
night.
regular schedule tomorrow.
There you go.
I'm done talking about this shit.
I'll be back tomorrow to Vlogmas. It's Vloon right now. It's vlogging all of June. And there you go. That's it. We did it.
Korea nahara laratiata ya saraka yarana mahaloro koteriana ha.
Okay. I don't know if I can put words. I guess I just put. Can I put words? This is preview. This is preview. So, God. I'll do this again at some point. Maybe this could be fun. A fun little activity I can do while listening. Because sometimes I do find it easier to pay attention actually more. Okay, the issue is I won't be able to read the chat if I end up doing drawings because I'll be so invested in the drawing. But it does help me to hear stuff and also like move my hands and do things. Like when I was in school, I always would do origami when I was in class and stuff because I felt like, okay, if I really need to like digest something, if I'm just sitting there, I feel like bored and like I could be doing something else. But if I'm doing two things at once, I feel like, yes. World's goofiest. World's most. Oh, good. Can't spell. Exploitative dad. How about that? Yay! What a beautiful image. I'm going to post this in the community tab and with no context. Only you watching now will understand and know what the hell it means. Okay. Thank you. And on that last final note, I say this.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. You've been a real fam. Kia fam. It's been real. You guys, you know me. I'll be posting my birth story soon. Any day now. You can see up close and personal because I know you guys are waiting for it and I can't disappoint the fans. I'll be back next week, Thursday. I am working on a follow-up edited video about the last stream that we did because I thought there was a lot of good response and it was interesting to me too about Aubrey Marcus and Vailana and Alana and Dumb Mark. So I'm putting that out probably in the beginning of next week, probably. hopefully it's not old news by then, but I just think it'll give you a little context since the podcast was 2.5 hours. I'm trying to get it down to like the hot 30 minutes, you know? And Hot Bictua coming in at the end. Hot Bictua. Hooray for doodling. What do you think? Am I an artist?
Yes.
Am I a good artist?
No.
Will all my artwork look the same at some point?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I love those sound bites. Thank you, Hot Bictua. And that, last thing I'll say this.
It's not $5,000. It's not $2,000. It's not $10,000. It's a lot of money.
That's how much I'll be selling my drawings for. Okay. Goodbye. Time for my song. Peace. Birth vlog. Can't wait to put out my birth vlog. Starry nights. What do you think about my plight? Being on the internet is hard. Nicole Campbell. Do you have a business card? I will call you and pitch my services. A Conzo. What do you think? Can you handle that? Or will you be in a vat of ice cream drowning Lillian Massey? Do you like saltwater taffy? Alaska Tundra? Are you the world's most exploitative dad? No, that's Austin McBroom. And he uses Zoom, not Google Hangouts. What a freak. Kara Soto. Do you have a vlog where you put your kids on and say that you never thought of the consequences? No, I know that you don't. Thank God. Lisa B. How much ayahuasca do you want for free? Just head to Catherine's house. Rebeled Fuentes. You could find a mouse and be friends with it and eat some cheese and have a lot of fun and then sneeze. Chris Johnson. Do you like to watch striptease? Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Hopefully you just have a lot of snot. Rob Sheehan. I think you love the color green, just like Tarot's eyes. And Mary. Here's a shout out to Mary. Are you the reincarnation of Mother Mary or a mermaid? You can be either one in my world. Good night.